Hello and welcome back to Arknights. It's been a little while, but Chapter 12, All Quiet Under the Thunder, has arrived. Let's see, a permit here. Oh, current app will not consume guaranteed 3-time quantity. Ooh. Good to have, good to have. I got plenty of water here, so I'm ready to enter the storyline. New red wheat seeds, a burdened beast saddle. The military commission of Kazel's airship fires opening salvo in Newport, and separated from Lindian bears the brunt. Reunion, led by the Nine, is also moving towards. Looks like things are getting interesting. Mail operation unit looking for previously owned. Spine massager may need mail order. 2 woolen coats, Swinton's tailor shop. Dad's needs its hem trimmed short. Romance of Ives crossed out, so I forgot. Grab some cheap candy to tie the kids over. Ask George if he can borrow his medal. Sorry, I sneezed there. Hopefully I muted the mic in time. Ears. Yes, Captain. I heard your leave was approved. Yeah, I suppose it went rather well. It's all thanks to that baby face of yours, Lord. LeBra occasionally wants to put up a facade of caring about the subordinates they call good branding. I guess the brass happened to be in a good mood that day. About working, the old carpenter there broke his leg again, so my mother asked me to help out. To leave -8 on the road. A day and a half's more than enough for me to deal with that rickety little antique. I left an extra half day open in case my dad needs help tilling the other part of the field. Oh right, I should pick up another dozen work gloves. The ones back home are... Is that a shopping list? That's right, Captain. Just that nothing's missing. I don't know when I'm gonna get time off again after all. Hopefully you've earned yourself a medal or two, of course. Off Victoria! That's the kind of ambition I like to see, lad. I once knew a bloke named Todd. He and I fought against the Spire casters out on the frontier and earned himself a solid gold medal. What a beautiful thing that was, glittering as it hung on his chest. It shone so brightly nobody could take their eyes off of it. Our beloved Duke Windermere personally awarded him the medal, highest of honors for any soldier. But the celebration banquet on old Todd had a bitter look on his face. Can you guess why? Because he went with just the merits he'd earned? Oh, no. It's much... I guess the mouse being visible is not a huge deal, but I should probably turn it off just so it's not distracting from the story. It's much worse than that. To take a swig of beer, his hands were replaced with a pair of wooden prosthetics. Ha! The veteran officer grins, showing a mouthful of yellow teeth. The young soldier laughs dryly. He knows this is one of the officer's many poor jokes. The wind is so strong on the deck, the soldier has to hold on the brim of his hat, letting out a loud yet harmless sneeze. Oh dang, guess I'm not the only one. No matter the season or weather, standing up on the deck of prancing high-speed battleship always makes one want to wrap himself in his coat. The young soldier thinks to himself, Wells is in charge today. How many cans of rations that pudgy bald man swipe? But the creamy vegetable chowder he makes without equal, and if fortune's on his master might even throw in a healthy serving of fowl beast to the soup. Figures he should leave after the sun's dinner. Usually good to get something to eat before travel. The mole station not already reached Londinium's vicinity. When the weather's clear, they can even see the Pinkerton. After returning to the station, he'd board the logistics squad's transport vehicle and head to the nearest town of a drink or two at the tavern. In early morning, there'd be cobblers hang down a tall cellar tobacco would limit your ride. The young soldier recalls those barns from back home, always filled with the fermented smell of composite straw. Even now, the smell occasionally wafts to him in his dreams, making him want to pinch. But at the same time, represents a connection with his hometown. If it only occurs occasionally, so be it. He furrows his brow quietly, deciding not to continue deluding himself with these sentiments. Even if it's only occasional, he doesn't want to experience that stench again. He must admit, it's always the biggest impediment every time he returns home. Ugh. The fog's rising again. I'll never get used to Londinium's bloody weather. It wasn't much better when we were stationed at Lithuanian's outskirts, but at least you could in the afternoon. Tell the cap. And we can't see a thing in this weather observation outpost. Some things interfering with the radar, too. We should head back. Caster's forces are obediently maintaining formation. Gododin moved his men further back. Other than a few familiar faces in the forward team, old Wellington's main force has... Other than our dear Duke Windmere, the remaining 7 dukes are watching for the sidelines. The patrol's over. Yeah, I believe in the previous chapter, previous couple chapters, it's been mentioned that the dukes are by and large, they're just watching everything that's going on, how they can react to, based on what happens, because the that's how the politics of this universe works. They're more familiar than they should be. So that's sarcasm. None of our business. The brass always have their own agenda. But I heard the Lendadoom's Biz, I've been a soldier for over a decade. After drinking and playing cards while being in the army, as the rumors you hear are always bunk and balderdash. Never pay heed to them. The officers back have eyes the map and will take care of everything. Ours is but to do and die. But isn't our duty to defend Victoria? Oh, what Victoria is, my boy. Our job is simply to follow orders. I think I get what he's after here. Is Victoria its land or its people? Even the Steve had trouble deciding, and that's probably why they ended up losing their mind and just protected Excalibur, really. Going it back, our day of peace is over. I shut myself to hush. Damn fogs. Maybe things have been too stressful these days. The young soldier begins to thank himself for taking some time off to unfold. The battlefield always puts people on edge, even more so when you don't know the when or where the war will break out or who you can trust. He thinks to himself, it's a bit clammy. He lifts his hand to undo the first button of his shirt, seeing how his just declare the end of armistice with little disregard protocol for shouldn't matter. He thinks of the fireplace back home. A few years ago, he came home wearing a brand new military outfit, unwilling to undo even a single button despite sweating profusely from the heat of the hearth. For that, the young lasher laughed him for quite some time. The young soldier curls the corner of his lips. That's why I didn't bring you your sappy romance novel. Payback. Oh, that's bad, isn't it? I should realize discussing your family is a death flag. Main cannon output normal. Confirmed target completely destroyed. Good. Begin preparations for the next phase. The Dukes will react soon. Your Highness. A new face. Yes, Your Highness. I was just promoted from the mercenary unit by the General. It's the greatest honor you've always been. It is an honor to make your acquaintance as well. What is your name? My name. I don't have a formal name. They just call me Elbow. Damn, I should pick a name from the book. Elbow. Why that name? It's not that I got burnt when I was. It's a stupid story, hardly worth paying attention, Your Highness. You must have been holding your bowl too high. No, it was a plug. He ran into me. Next time I swear, Your Highness. I'm sorry, General, Your Highness. You may leave. It seems you still have a lot of. I heard they're serving creamy vegetable chowder at the airship. Don't miss supper time. Thank you, Your Highness Theresa. We. When each battle ends, the Sarkat as we'll have a home to return to. We'll be able to return to Kazdel soon, right? Of course. I prefer to be with them rather than with the aristocrats of the royal court. Each and every moment, the collective souls of the Sarkas forced me to my knees, immersing me in our very long and painful history. But they, these newly grown children, these give me a tangible sense of the future. Right, Theresa here has the same empathy powers that Amia has. She can not read minds, but share emotions, the subconscious. And frankly, I think that may even be a more powerful ability because you can always hide your conscious thoughts, but your subconscious, your emotions, that's not so easy. Not impossible, but it's significantly harder. And what should we do with this future? Into another round of roars sweeping across the land. Scorched earth spreads as far as the eye can see. Will these new seedlings sprout up as we hope? Hope is as weighty as ever, Manfred, Your Highness. In accordance with the military commission's plans, a section of Londinium has been detached. As of right now, it's arrived at the designated location, parked between the main city and the Duke's encirclement. It will become the cornerstone and launch pad of our next offensive, and this airship will also temporarily dock there. Duke of Winmere should soon receive word that her high-speed battleship has been destroyed, but she also cannot ignore the threat the airship poses, which in turn will help the Nishera King's front develop. In accordance with the Regent's instructions, we must next take a look outside, General. Manfred looks outside. He's forced to admit the carefully planned flames burning before his eyes are not exhilarating as he imagined. Ah, the firelight is blinding. Our war has finally broken out. According to the Military Commission's projections, the Dukes will cautiously proceed with military operations within 16 hours. We've already made our preparations. No, the war never ended. And not only ranks ripping through the other ranks that is worthy of the name of war, those eyes looking behind the curtains, those curses whispers in the dead of night, those suppressed cries, are all war. Those compatriots who perished alone in the barrens, those robes dragged across the ground during the black processions, those Casdell bricks and tiles sealed away in the collector's glass display case, are also all war. War has always been part of us. We simply pushed out for all to see once again. Well, I see Kals has some more friends in the let's make everything very verbose category. But I do get her point. Basically, the war is more than just the actual combat that's going on. It's also the effects it leaves behind, and both in the resentment and also the ashes themselves. Even if the flames of war were ignited in Victoria, Casdel's always been part of the battlefield. I've already made plans with the General about this. No, Manfred, that's not what I'm asking. I simply observe that beneath our feet, the shadow of this airship covers all indiscriminately. Put an end to it, General. If this ultimately is proven to be the only way for the Sarkaz, then, then drown tears with tears and bury suffering with suffering. This is the only way. I'll carry out your will, your highness. Hmm. You see that? No mistake about it. Looks like it came straight out of a storybook. The Hairbringer of Destruction, Prophet of Turmoil, Nightmare Given Form. So, you ever see that gloom piercer as big as a mountain, lugging along its chest of perfume? Yep, just like Red Nose Humbert used to talk about. Nine said before, you're in no condition to be drinking. I only had a sip. I don't have much time left. Leave me with my last bit of hope. I still remember that night on Snowfield, right? Everyone was freezing to death, and Red Nose Humbert told us a strange legend from the village. Sorry, I signed on in Victoria. Oh, really? I thought... Yeah, he died back in Ursus. He was a good guy. Took at least 4 of those patrolling ambassadors with him. Damn it, you would appreciate him in his stories. Gotta pour one out for him. You're drunk again, Romanok. How many times do I have to tell you? Hand over the flagon. How many times do I have to teach you this lesson, old man? Ma'am, I don't have much longer to live. Come on. You still have a long life ahead of you, if you listen to the doctor. I hate doctors. They're all liars, all of them, especially when they're player characters, too. I need these fluids. They let me see. He is asleep again. Toss him a blanket. We can't be too far from Londinium now. Yeah, if we're lucky, we'll be able to see the city walls in just over a week. It'd be faster if we could fix that piece of junk car. Dang, I mean, so he must have gotten it from Honest John's dealership. You don't see catastrophes too often in Londinium, but given the current situation, it's virtually impossible not to bump into any of the Duke's troops, and none of them gonna welcome us. Then throw the sarcasm on top. We need to be even more cautious during our subsequent operations. We need to find our trapped people, whether they still think there are people or not. Getting everyone back together is difficult, but we still feel the same pain and share the same tomorrow. These feelings never stop chasing us. They force us to keep moving forward. I'm not saying that just to cope, but it's the only thing we could do with full peace of mind. Yeah, after Tallulah's defeat in the first major story arc, Reunion has been scattered. Nine's trying to bring it back together, but the big question is, will she be doing the same thing that Tallulah did, and we'll have to stop her too? Or it's hard to say. The whole reason Reunion exists is because, well, while it's fallen by the wayside lately, the rock cancer storyline is still going strong, and even if we were to find a way to cure it or press it, that would still suffer from distribution and general difficulties with getting it out, as well as, mass production and all that, so there's no way. So people still treat them like plague victims, which to an extent they are, but they also don't. Yeah. It's pretty nasty, that's for sure. Let those infected on the verge of despair know they still have comrades out there and their lives aren't disposable. Yeah, that's ultimately what Reunion's goal always was. It's just that Tallulah made it far more militarized. Stay where you belong. Speak of the devil, although she's technically a dragon. Tallulah. 9. I'm just getting a breath of fresh air. Fine, I have my eye on you. Hello, Diox. Welcome to the stream. And I'm doing the Arknights storyline, so expect it to mostly be a VN tonight. There's going to be stages and stuff, of course, but it's mostly going to be reading, and that means I've got lots of water prepared. They've been burning for... Let's log here. Flames are burning out there in the distance. They've been burning for some time now. Hopefully it's just a patch of wood struck by lightning. Our squad will cross over. Lightning, huh? I saw you were making a stew back at the camp. I was just helping out the cook. She had 2 baskets of potatoes to get through. I gave it a taste. Wasn't too bad. An old friend once taught me a few things. I thought I'd forgotten it all. If you're still willing to play a part before facing justice, I won't stop you. Yeah, even Reunion's upset at Tallulah for, militarizing them and turning the nations against their goal. But you'd best remember who you are, Tallulah. We are watching you, all of us. I know. I do appreciate that we're not just forgiving Tallulah for what she's done. There is speculation she might become playable at some point, but no one knows. Start packing up. It's time to go. I guess ultimately the big part of it is, can we trust 9? Oh, I fell asleep. Damn it. Come on, 9, take pity on this old man. Let me have another sip. Otherwise, I might be as good as dead today. I see that. The edge of the sky is bloody red. Red-nosed Humbert said. He said that's a good omen. A good omen, I tell you. And what's that other shore? Victory? I don't exactly remember. Maybe. Maybe it means tomorrow will be a good day, my friends. Uh, sorry, I'm not nearly as good at various voices as Damien is, or others. The most dangerous thing on the battlefield is not the downpour of enemy fire, it's imposters trying to win your sympathy. Allies have greatly reduced cost limit. Alright, so this is a tutorial mission, so what's the gimmick of this chapter? Let's find out. Know right from wrong.
What a pain.
Siege. Nice. For the Special Operation Newport, we'll start with this limited initial deployment resources. Max at only 20, oh dear. That's very painful since a lot of my favorites are well over that. Fortunately, victorious citizens will come out aid and replenish our deployment resources once they enter our protection zone. However, there are spies hidden among them. Oh no. As a former Team Fortress 2 spy main, I know precisely what this means. We need pyros, and lots of them. Our operators will begin to identify any unidentified civilians once they enter their attack range and become blocked. After some time has passed, we'll be able to ascertain whether they are spies.
Go ahead.
I should be able to watch them. Alright, so that looks clear. Clear. Interesting, so ranged ones can watch, but melee ones have to actually block them. Legitimate civilians will no longer be blocked once their identity has been confirmed. But keep in mind, the only identified civilians will replenish our deployment resource within a protection zone. Alright, so if I let them through and they're safe, then they're... Well, I'm guessing we won't take damage, first of all, but we won't get the DP... Since this is a tutorial, that's probably the spy, then. Hey, that guy who's got a sauce, is he a spy? You can often tell a spy from a civilian by the subtle differences in their behavior. The civilian is a spy. Alright, so yeah, we're going above the max thanks to the identified ones make it through. Look, we've detected signs that one is a spy. Can we start attacking then? Suspicious individuals reveal their true colors a while after they're identified. Stop the spy!
There you are.
Seems like an obvious way to go, I suppose. That one's a spy. Hmm.
Here I am.
Go ahead. Out of my way!
This is probably isn't the best location, but
Like a
why not?
shadow. There you are.
I'm going to try and use Ifrit as much as humanly possible because she's the closest thing this game has to a Team Fortress 2 Pyro. Omron. Okay, so civilians return, but it doesn't look like enemies will actually attack them this time. Oh, thanks for the...
Haven't made it to this chapter. Don't want to spoil myself too much. I'll lurk. Have fun with the chapter.
Ah,
It's all too hard.
well, thank you very much for the bits itself there. And yeah, if you haven't played if you don't want to be spoiled, you might want to avoid this one or look at the VOD later. But I appreciate it. Thanks for stopping by. And thank you again for the bits. You know what? I should be able to do this on hard mode, so let's do that. Fine, you're the I like this. Fine, you're the symbol of victorious invincibility. Our savior's here to help us. Can we get going now? Sometimes the text is cheeky like that. I need to cover that area, so it might be worth getting thorns in here. Siege is I probably want as many DP generators, so let's stick with my Pioneer Vanguards. Wait, I forgot to get sieges? No, I swear yeah! I do have her module unlocked, it's just not equipped. There we are.
Tell me.
Yeah, I genuinely think the Y module is better than the X module for the Pioneer Vanguards. -4 DP cost is way better. And yes, you'll notice that Saga has an extra potential. I did in fact spend gold certs to get that because it's Saga. I'd do it for Siege, but I already did. I probably don't need Yado for this, but I probably want more ground units. Let's see here. I guess Palace might not be a bad option. Does she have an English voice yet? Oh, no, this is, she doesn't have her costume, though. Yeah, she doesn't have one yet. A handful of characters were given English voices. I just forget which. Oh, I think Saga might now, actually. Does she? Oh, Saga won't be getting her skin for a while. Nope, not yet. I should probably keep Honeyberry because they likely have necrosis damage in this chapter. This story arc so far has had a ton of necrosis damage, and Honeyberry is one of the few that can cure it. I can probably replace Shining with a fun one, though. Yeah, let's go with Aiba. Paprika's voice actor is the same who does Aiba from the Somnium Files 1 and 2. So I definitely... That is entirely the reason I built her, for that and no other reason. Let's see here. Eben, do I want someone else here? Oh yeah, I need to get the modules for my... I forgot. Well, let's bring Ifrit, actually. I did promise to. But I need to get modules for my Phalanx casters, especially Mint and Lin. Alright. A verse. I'm just jumping right into a verse. So it's a hard mode, because why not? Oh, hello, Pixel. Welcome to the stream. We've confirmed the high-speed warship belonging to Duke of Windermere was attacked by an unknown Sarkis weapon. There were no survivors. A preliminary conclusion is the weapon in question was indeed the structure that briefly appeared in the skies over Londinium. Also, we have confirmation that the officers were speaking about their families. Yep, I'm starting with chapter 12 now that I'm back from my... now that I'm back, Pixel. Based on the frontline evaluation from the remote observation team, the weapon's powerful midair suspension and efficiency of its originating arts generator deserve due caution. It's impossible to evaluate the technological base for manufacturing large-scale armed aerial vehicles given the information we currently have. We're still in the process of gathering more intel. However, until it's been proven the Sarkaz possesses technological means to mass produce such weapons, we would recommend against categorizing this target as the highest threat level for the time being, as countermeasures have already been deployed. They just destroyed a landship battleship in a single shot, and it's a flying airship, meaning that they can have it wherever they want to. I think it's then again, I guess, I mean, they have their own weapons, but, well, whatever. We'll find out soon how actually correct that is. It should also be noted that Newport Borough, Londinium's old logistics district, was separated from the main body yesterday. The plate's now docked by itself between the city and Londinium, on peripheral front formed by various dukes. Alright, Duke of Castor, Duke of Wellington, Duke of Windermere. Alright, so I think that one in the upper right. We have reason to believe the Sarkaz are trying to convert this plate into a forward base using the support of their large-scale military operations for the foreseeable future. The Dukes have begun to respond to developments, but rescue does not seem to be their objective. At the same time, tragedy shall unfold. It will likely be used as a temporary stop for that large-scale Sarkaz weapon. The current commander of Ladinium Defense Forces, Colonel Leteau, issued a statement claiming that New Norport was accidentally separated to the main body due to technical reasons. A large number of Londinium citizens still remain on the plate, and the defense forces are preparing to launch a rescue plan for these citizens. The remote observation teams provided several photos taken on the scene. At the moment, we're not planning any large-scale operations against this plate. However, intelligence personnel believe that a series of regular staffing transfers between the Duke of Windermere's mobile fortress and ironclad Galavay over the last 8 hours is likely related to the situation in Norport. Oh, lovely. Things are getting even more complex. I guess I can't be surprised. Several analysts have pointed out the Duke of Windermere's military claims this plate are more radical than we previously anticipated, and the specific reasons warrant a more in-depth investigation. So this is why they don't want to deal with the weapon immediately, because one of their number has started overstepping their bounds. We are monitoring the other Duke's attitudes and subsequent actions response, and will be submitting a routine analysis reports at shorter intervals, awaiting further instructions. Ugh. Duke of Castor. Technical reasons. How unsophisticated. But it gets the job done. They know full well that we all care greatly about our own reputations, especially in the face of Victoria's coming future. So they also decide to throw out a bit of bait. A flying fortress? It pains me to say this, but as long as they're holding Norport's borough at gunpoint, things are going to get messy. Now even Wellington doesn't have the nerve to rush over with his high-speed warship, rain fire down an old logistics area, and snatch away his new toy. But he won't be able to resist the temptation. Affirmative. Affirmative. The Duke of Wellington's troops have sped up their advance. We suspect he's already gained intel on the airship. The massive airship is indeed beyond our calculations and has potential to reshape future wars. But as the intelligence says, we're far from the point of things spiraling out of control. Yeah, they want it for themselves. What was it? Well, according to our estimates, even the Sarkaz had a secret channel for transporting supplies. They wouldn't have had the time or resources to build multiple airships. Those damn devils can hardly bring out the value of this technology. Perhaps we can. I'm sure that's going to work out for you. I mean, look at Weyland-Yutani and their constant attempts to get the titular aliens under their control as bioweapons. That's right. Naturally, this is extremely important to me. Even if I don't give the order, I expect you'll bring it to me. However, our gaze ought to be cast wider than just this singular piece of technology. Yeah, the whole reason she's not directly giving the order is to maintain deniability. Yeah. I suppose that's one perk of having been around the block as long as I have. I can see a few of these things coming from a mile away. And unfortunately, this also means there's nothing we can do to stop things from going to shit. What truly worries me is we've let the Sarkaz run amok in the shard for too long. Even the most dim-witted fools eventually figure out what lies behind those buttons and levers. Allerdale. I don't blame her. She was never ambitious enough. That was her strong suit, and I allowed her to keep it. But it doesn't look like there's any way to make use of our Stone of the Sword. Rest assured, the dukes who supported you, along with their vassals, are still resolutely on your side. I promise them peace and safety, and I will deliver. Forever honor one's commitments. That has always been the motto of House Casta since ancient times. Trilby Asher is already being dealt with. Naturally, they always have a way. Then, Your Grace, about the citizens of Norport. Lieutenant Colonel Leteau said he is preparing a rescue plan. You won't go wrong putting your trust in that Gaulish commander. I've met him before. A very interesting man. Oh, she even has a quizzical expression. The Sark has never publicly claimed to occupy Londinium, as it has nominally been under control of the defense forces. This Lieutenant Colonel has managed to survive in his position for 4 years without getting caught up in any major trouble either. We all know how those devils are like, so that fact alone is respectable enough. Who knows, maybe he's more keen on becoming a savior than we are. I see what you're saying. Getting the right people in the right position, turning valued friends into loyal partners, is harder than we had initially expected. Who could have possibly guessed that backstabbing people and throwing them out the window as soon as they were no longer useful to us would come back to haunt us? Old Wellington knows what I want, and I know what he wants. Though we've never talked about these things openly, we've naturally helped each other, all keeping an extra knife sharpened for one another. Yeah, see, exactly! I've been around the block, I know how this shit works. Poor thing, Windermere's been playing with the Lethanians for too long. It might be a while until she remembers how Victoria works. Indeed, we still don't quite understand why the Duke of Windermere is so keenly interested in Norport's affairs. Does she also want that airship technology? Maybe she wants to add another card to her hand. She knows she's in for a rough time pretty soon. With opportunity comes desire. Both are as honey, equally effective at landing people into the abyss. And that cousin of mine failed to understand this, which is why he's been dead for 26 years. Well, that and I may or may not be responsible, but who knows? You know, he still appears in my dreams from time to time. Can't say I ever liked him. He was a bombastic, self-righteous boy. When we were young, he'd run up down the corridors of the palace, spouting quotes from past kings he saw in some book. And he'd always spew the same trite platitudes, a role model for the masses, noblesse oblige, what have you. Yeah, I know I just said that as a meme, but $50 says she indeed killed him. He treated those words as a guiding compass, so they probably didn't even come from the kings they were attributed to. In all likelihood, there are flattering embellishments added by the royal archivists. Yeah, history is written by the winners, and by people very much in favor of those winners, usually. He actually believed those words and paid the price for it, but despite all that, I sometimes still miss him. During those years he was still around, we could pretend that all was well, but now even the dullest of men must open their eyes. And bear witness to ugliness, covetousness, opportunism. War has broken out, its advent has fulfilled everyone's wishes at all. Your Grace, there's also a chance to reunite Victoria. Ha! Unity. Victoria's been trodden upon and sullied for far too long. You have a right to restore her glory. This war is for Victoria. No, 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 my child. This war is not for Victoria alone. Victoria, how we love to speak the name of our country. No, it's nothing more than a rag to cover the festering abscess when the people are in need of morality, an empty husk to exploit hope when the people are in need of dignity. All those farmers, laborers, soldiers, nobles, all who despise each other, grope at each other's throats. Why does lumping them all together make the great Victoria? When they speak of Victoria, what is it they even refer to? The fields they've tilled for a lifetime, the factories they've gorged on in blood and tears, the collection of looted artifacts, great halls of imported carpets. News headline of, yeah, this is basically what I was talking about before. What is a country? The land upon which it's on, the people within it, specific people, specific locations. Or is the glorious and invincible empire built upon the foundation of each man's imagination? Let's prepare ourselves. Let's wait with bated breath. I suppose at the end of the day, everyone you ask would have their own unique answer to it. Probably proceeded with, well, obviously. That's why I kind of say that common sense is not as universal as one might think. And I don't mean that in that people lack common sense, more that common sense can be whatever you need it to be. Like, I believe one that's pretty commonplace is if you were stranded in the desert with no water and your worst enemy offered it to you, would you take it? Pretty much any answer you get is you're going to be told it's just common sense to go with it, and again, possibly preceding it with obviously. And indeed, there's valid reasons for either, but the thing is, whichever you choose is going to be seen as the common sense one, regardless of whether or not anyone actually agrees, so... yeah, common sense is not nearly as universal as one might think. But I guess I should put a better way of putting it, simply to try and avoid that confusion. Good day, sir. Let me guess, you want to be strung up on the fence too, To be honest, I don't have a lot of fun with that job. I suggest you turn around and go back to where you belong. No, please, good sir. I just wanted to talk with you. That's not what I meant. We have trivial issues. If you could show us mercy. When did you Victorians start taking us devils a bunch of bleeding hearts? All we wanted was to know what's going on in Norport. Nothing worth mentioning. What if, look, if we can scrounge up some valuable trinkets, sure, you've heard of Sargon's gems? I have a number here. Get lost. I'm not interested. I have a collection of old Gaulish paintings that should be priceless. Maybe out of line. It's gonna cost my life, isn't it? How about Sancta Patron firearm? Happen to have one stashed away back home. That's actually a bit more rare. Or, interesting. You got your hands on an Angel's Guardian gun, huh? Oh, it's not mine. It's for safekeeping. Heavens, those angels from the Notorial Hall are gonna flame you if they find out, but if you are interested to happen to hear you, or Sarkers enjoy collect them. Listen up, I prefer my angelic toys freshly from corpses. Now piss off. Sarcasm, what's going on? Yeah, basically the angels get a guardian gun at one point in their lives, but there's only one per each, so that is actually a fairly rare weapon, since like with a Jedi's lightsaber, you'll usually only get one when one dies. I don't know if they can make... I don't know off the top of my head if they can make new ones, though, like how Luke creates a new lightsaber after he uses his original one, in the original trilogy, I mean. Sarcasm, just what's going on. It's a perfectly legitimate quest. So many of us have been driven from our homes and crammed into this little grotto with no place to live, no food, freedom. I want explanation. Are all those houses not good enough for you? Pick a door, any door. Knock on them, get your sorry ass inside. What more do you want? A bathtub with a built-in massager? Hey, you can't treat us like this. We're the defense forces. I personally know Leto and want to speak with him. We haven't broken rules. Now that character has a unique portrait. That's enough, mister. Be careful. They're armed. Hey, let go of me. What do I have to be careful for? Listen up. I've lived here for 30 years. My city, my neighborhood. I know you take factories. I know you lust over the wealth, so take it. Spitting off a few factories won't put a dent in the glory, but I'm my own man. Not even the king can take my home. Tell me, why did Norport drive out of London overnight? What's the meaning of this? Hey, are you trying to get yourself killed? Possessed you into thinking that you can challenge my authority. Wait, please. He doesn't know what he's talking about. What a waste. Listen, you sorry worms. To tell you the truth, I'd like nothing more than to slaughter each and every one of you. Seeing your faces makes me sick, but the boss says you lot are still useful. So I promised him I'd show a little restraint, and this is the grace I'll afford you, but no, I can take it back just as easily. Hurry, run, get out of here. Something's up with that person. Help. Run, run as fast as you can, pathetic Victorians. You've had your fun already. Now it's time to get a taste of life that you had forced onto us. Hide in every nook and cranny, every shadow, rip up swallow your dignity. This is everything we Sarkis have experienced. Now rejoice, because it's yours too. Call it equality. This is the kind of equality you've never known. Explain myself, answer questions. No, this is war, you dipshits. Learn it, embrace it. Just like we did for thousands of years. Zob, where am I? Stop your blubbering already. Did you think they invited you here for a picnic? You can guess where the people who weren't so willing to have come ended up. Call me Bard. You're hurt and need your wounds dressed. Follow me. A reception party.
A smith's gotta be
Alright,
ready
where's
to
the
pay
first
her
one going?
debts,
And this is a
accrued by the
car.
weapons she forges.
Always opening with Saga, because why wouldn't I?
Don't get careless just because I'm here.
Siege. Handle it.
Pain. Get lost.
palace. Alright, clean.
My rule is to balance your lives hang in.
Pallets can heal the one in front of her, so I'm not too worried about her. Thorns, you do your thing. Thorns can heal himself, so as long as there's not too much pain in that particular area, I think it should be fine. Then again, it might be good to bring in Honeyberry for some backup.
Focus on fighting. Just leave treatment to me.
Honeyberry's heal itself is weak, but she cures statuses,
Get a
so
hold of your breathing.
she
Get lost.
status build-up, I guess, would be the best comparison for anyone not familiar with this game. Alright, we'll have Cruz handle that.
My weapon chooses its worthy wielder.
Everyone, hang in there.
Yeah, there's a lot of tiles banned here I'd like to use. Yeah, I can't even deploy Ifrit. She's too expensive.
Get a hold of your breathing and relax.
That's a spy. That civilian is
My
a
weapon
spy.
chooses its worthy wielder.
I've got a way to treat you here.
A warrior must be ready to face death on the battlefield.
Maybe I should bring Stainless to help Thorns charge a little faster.
Everyone, hang in there.
Alright, Cruz has some pretty good vision, so she'll be able to see who's real and who's not. Alright, looks like the real ones are going down the middle and the fake ones are going here. I imagine they'll start getting a bit more mixed as I get to later story chapters.
A warrior must be ready to face death on the battlefield.
Fun fact, the
No matter
Japanese
what
voice
trouble
actor
we're in,
for Siege
I'll
is the
face it
same as
together
Saber
with
from the
all
Fate
of you.
series.
My weapon
I imagine it's also no
chooses its worthy
coincidence the
wielder.
last story chapter had us getting her Excalibur for her. Well, it had a different name, but I mean, it's all very obviously Excalibur. She even has a buddy named Morgan.
My weapon chooses
So
its
there's
worthy
definitely a
wielder.
Thurian legend going on in here. There's also Notoria, but she's not coming for a good while. The Glasgow gang, under the leadership of their new boss, could arduously defend their gym. Golding, under close monitoring, has no choice but to send Molly, the self-salvation, to evacuate. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to bring Stainless, because Thorns charges very slowly if I don't have that. But that's a perk of Stainless. He can charge people like Thorns without any outside help needed. Alright, we should be safe here. God, oh, it's still a mess outside. We're certainly not in Londinium anymore. I reckon we can see the situation outside the plate on the top of the old landing tower, but I can't get near it. It's outside the restricted area. And I reckon if you could spot anything, it would mean a thing, and the Starcats keep a close eye, there's too many of them. Alright. What's the old bloke's story? He's trying to talk terms with the Sarkas. And how'd that turn out? Take a look yourself. That's about all I can do, bandaging your wound. Thank you. Goodness, what just happened? Why? What's happened? What else could have happened? The Sarkas have been in Londinium for 4 years now. You can't possibly still think they were invited here by that poor Saul Cavendish as his guest, right? But they haven't ever what? He must be one of those noblemen who never leave their mansions, and need maids to fetch their morning milk. How'd you fall so low as to find yourself in Norport? No, I'm but a scholar. I merely run into certain troubles financially. As soon as I finish my manuscript, I shall... Drat, still my study. But you've really got a knack for finding these poor down-the-luck bastards, don't you? With some respect, if all goes well, it's likely I'll become a Royal Academy of Sciences next academician. I couldn't pronounce that when it was Alphino's class. I cannot pronounce it here. Very likely, eh? I still understand it. The news kept saying, all is well. What more do you want to say? Friends and citizens, I regret to inform you that Londinium is now a shithole. The special instructors they sent off the newspaper offices actually earn their keep, you know? See the flag they're flying above the munitions factory in Highbury? If not, you gotta at least remember the fire in Octorog the other day, right? But the war, what about the defense forces? The Dukes, aren't they defending us all around Londinium? How can this be? The Sarkans can't possibly triumph over the Dukes, can they? The Devils are a bunch of savages who cower in the wilderness, but victorious in the greatest country all across the lands. Yeah, that's blatant British Empire racism right there. Oh, who told you that? Do you realize that out of nowhere Did you realize that out of nowhere while munching on cake at home? I didn't feel that way when the Dibbles held me up against the wall and frisked me. Alright, next academician. Off you go, you don't belong here. Where can I go, though? My flat's not in the lockdown zone, and I haven't the slightest idea where my loyal servant is. I don't know where. Oh, what can you do? Medical work, sewing, repair, anything? My research is heraldry. Ah, your scholar Ops never studied how to turn air into sticks? Well, it's by no means my area of expertise. Imagine it's so difficult. Bard, stop bringing back these fancy lads, will ya? He doesn't even understand sarcasm. We don't have a lot of supplies on hand here. Maybe you can help the fiend manage the warehouse? Bard, stop trying to pass all your problems to me. I can't very well watch him die on the street. At times like this, we have to come together and unite. Even having one extra man on board is more power to us. Come together, eh? I wish Parliament and the Dukes had learned from you people. We wouldn't have fallen where we are today. Think they're not united enough? They're all very united when it came to hanging the king. That was... Never mind. I just hope you'll be of some use, Mr. Next Academician. I shall do everything in my power. The which, who'd you all be? Hey, oh, Reader. Welcome to our gym, the Slobberknocker. You can call us the Glasgow Gang. Yeah, Siege was their former leader. Heidi, how have you been? Tell the truth, I haven't any idea where you've been as of late. Ever since Mr. Adams, the bookshop owner, died, I haven't been able to reach you. Well, that's probably because you've been at Rhode Island. I'm one of like 4 people on the server who has her fully built, so I can at least enjoy that. And before you say, isn't Scotty Alter stronger, that requires me to actually have a limited 6-star unit that had 1 rate up ever. So, yeah. When you're free to play, you make do with what you got. It's been a long time since I continued our work. Forgive me, my dear friend, I never hide anything from you, but I'm truly very befuddled. You once told me that peace would come again, but I can't fool myself with false help anymore. I can't hide in my room, pretend everything we do is meaningful. Right, we could look at things at the broader scale, the dimension of history. Of course peace will come, it will eventually, and war will undoubtedly shatter it in an even crueler way. Once thought we could win, I still hope that we'll win, but Heidi, if everything we've done amounts to nothing but self-comfort, no doubt if, this might already be truth. These desks, and this school may come crumbling down any moment. How are they meant to stand up against the force of the new era? Heidi, I can't keep going anymore. What should I do? Molly. Lady Goulding, are you alright? Oh no. Last time we saw Lady Molly here replaced with a fake. Now granted, time may have passed, but we still don't know. Is the Molly been replaced? Was it just to get information? Because we didn't see her die, per se. But at the same time, we also didn't see her confirmation that her replacement has finished their job. So this could still be a fake. I guess this is a full chapter of spy checking. Dang it, and it's so expensive I can't even deploy my spy checker. Molly, you're back. Are you writing a letter? No, this is nothing. I just remembered a few novels I read before. The protagonists are always charming, suave, always heading towards the front lines with a uniform befitting them with a pipe in their mouths. But the authors never tell us which battlefield they head or to, and how the trenches smell. I imagine ones from World War I have mentioned such things, if only because World War I is a pretty heavy war. I guess that's kind of the reason that a lot of fiction likes to focus on its sequel, which is a much more straightforward good and evil narrative. Well, I guess story might be better, but by saying it as narrative, I sound more professional. Then again, I guess that makes it sound like a story instead of what actually happened. You get what I'm talking about. Those who are enamored of the protagonists, both women and men, taste fine desserts of their anxious hearts. Of course, we all know it's just literary techniques. These stories always end happily. Yeah. Authors with a bit of ambition might try to build what the critics call a profound atmosphere. The stories are adorned with preventable deaths, are always the dearest friend dying in the trenches to shield the hero. Ah, yes, the best friend dies trope. In the end, the wretched enemy finds themselves defeated by their sword, thus restoring just morality. And at his fallen friend's funeral, the solemn crowd gathers, remembers heroics, petals symbolizing honor scattered atop the casket. That's the most emotional part. The protagonist clenches his fists, wipes tears, looks towards the morning sun with resolve. Without fail, they always say the hope will come around, all sacrifice to be meaningful. And there, that's where the author stops, let the readers imagine themselves a truly beautiful future, let them bask the stately feeling in the end. I want to say plenty of stories make things more complicated than that, so it's not just straightforward. But I guess she is talking in the broad scale, and indeed, in the broad scale, well, the hero does typically triumph. And I will admit, I do like when they make it clear it's not always going to end, once the credits roll, so to speak. There's definitely a lot more there. I'm surprised you read these kind of novels. It was years ago. Everyone was that age once. I used to be obsessed with these books when I was a young girl. I wasn't very attached to protagonists themselves, actually, but I was interested in the deaths. Sometimes I imagine one of those heroes sacrificed themselves for the cause, and the master would sing my praises for the air I helped create, or at very least my sacrifice. A martyr complex. A feeling I have not been unfamiliar to in my youth, but it's something that has to be gotten over. Not to say you can't consider a cause greater than yourself worthy of such a thing, just don't make it explicitly a goal, It's. Well, I don't want to get things too depressing, so let's just continue. How childish. Later on, I thought I'd be clear-headed enough to see past these sugar-coated fantasies. But I start to notice there might be nothing inherently different between who I am now and who I was back then. Don't say that. You told the children yourself. Death is a solemn topic. Ha, did I? I don't remember. Perhaps just lectures that I'm so used to giving. How was procurement today? Not too bad. The situation in the streets isn't very serious. The price of the shops haven't gone up, though there were more city defense soldiers than usual, and the Sarkaz soldiers, they're not as secretive as they used to be. But everyone's pretending as though nothing happened, except what used to be New Norport. There's nothing left except the support structures extending from the surrounding districts. And what about the parcels? I need to apologize to you again. I never should have dragged you into this. It's just Leto has his eyes on me, and every time I step out the door, I find myself followed by several ill-meaning men. I have no choice but to make a gamble that you're not on their watch list. No, I'm glad to do my part for Londinium. It's just that the place you told me about were all pretty quiet. I used the passwords and no one answered. Maybe they've already given up? No, they're stronger than I am, much stronger. Oh, but I found a letter. It should be for you, so I didn't open it. I still have to be careful. Molly could very much still be the imposter. No, this is in their handwriting. The letter's practically all the information on the Self-Salvation Corps communications. What? But how could that... This is a threat. They know us like the back of our hand. What should we do, Lady Golding? Molly, I have another list of places. I've never been to these myself, but having analyzed the flow of information, they should be there. I shouldn't take this risk. This goes against practices, but this information is very important to the Self-Salvation Corps, though, right? Many lives are on the line. Then we must do this. Unfortunately, if Molly is still but compromised, then I think this could be the end. Molly, just as I taught you, watch out for anyone that could be tailing you. Whether sarcasm or not, do not let your guard down. Look for a girl called Clovicia, or anyone can get in contact with her. Tell them their entire intelligence network's exposed. They must evacuate. Lady Golding, where are you going? To Lato's office. I'll try to buy as much time as I can for the rest of you. Oh, but relax, I'll be fine. I just hope I'm stronger than I still think I am. Oh yeah, this is gonna go from bad to worse. Losing Clovicia could absolutely crush everything, but the good news at least is that she's in our care, Rhode Island's care, and we're a bit better her by virtue of having a player character with us. Doctor, I had a dream. I saw this city shrouded in dark clouds. The blood-stained Sarkaz flags flew above every building. Outside the city, Originium grew everywhere my eyes could see. I saw a rusted throne towering above the lands. The masses kneeled before it, crying stained in black. I saw the person on the throne wave their arm, and the shouts that followed pierced the sky. Yet in the shadow of the throne, cowering men lifted their heads ever so slightly. I felt what they felt. I don't know how to describe it, but it was all over the place, so stifled. Yeah, I think I mentioned it earlier, but Ami here has very powerful empathy powers. There's a one can hide their conscious thoughts against mind reading, but hiding their emotions, their subconscious, that is significantly more difficult. Not impossible, but not something most are skilled at. I could only make out what was on the surface, that pain and hatred. Who was it on that throne? Is this the future of the collective souls of the Sarkaz saw, or is this the duty of the king of Sarkaz? Did Theresa have this dream? Could this be the sight she's looking forward to now? No, it can't be. Doctor, this dream, it doesn't mean anything, right? Well, I think the fact you're exhausted is a contributing factor. Thank you, Doctor. Right, it was just a dream. Ascalon. Oh man, Doctor. Is Dr. Calcit better? Hard to say, her body was frail to start with and her wounds are deep. Shining has attempted several solutions, but all of them were limited in their effectiveness. She has yet to awaken. Monster seems to be slowly repair itself. Likewise, do not have any idea how well it will recover, and whether it can even actually fully recover. Yeah, we pretty much have confirmation that Calcit is effectively a Time Lord. So, the good news is that if she dies, it won't be a permanent thing, but the bad news is she may not return in time for us here, and if she does, it will be completely different. We can't be changing leadership throughout this course here, if we can avoid it. Doctor, at the Defense Forces Command Tower, if only. None of us expected Theresis to be here. Dr. Calcit. Given that guy is practically the final boss of this particular story arc, him and his sister, it's definitely a big deal if he himself decided it worth showing up. Dr. Calcit, I never once imagined that one day would be wounded this badly. She always solved our problems like they were nothing. She gave us the best advice for every solution. I see. It's given in the backstory, hinted in the backstory, but the Time Lord Calcit was part of what caused the Kazdel and the Sarkaz stronghold to fall to begin with, and scattered them. I guess it makes sense they'd have a pretty strong grudge against her, but this also means she had a pretty big reason for doing that. There's a lot of fan theories about the world of Terra which this game takes place, but I can't even begin to follow a lot of them. She's Dr. Calcit. I've never seen her even look tired, but now... Doctor... Take Amiya's hand. I know, I'll bear the responsibilities that are mine to bear. Rhodes Island's mission here is far from over. But I want to see Dr. Calcit one more time. May I? Even if it's just sitting by her bed for a short while. Rather than staying with the wounded, you two have much more important work to do. Closure wants to know she's finished analyzing the data from the command tower. Clovicia is calling a meeting. We need to reevaluate the situation here in Londinium. Our initial plans have failed. Then please tell us what our next step should be.
The fiercer the battle, the more jubilant the victory.
Nice, and since I completed it on hard mode, I get the hard mode bonuses too. Wonderful. Rewards, yeah. Since I'm on hard mode, I not only get the ones... I not only get the normal and easy mode rewards, but also the hard mode ones, which is always nice. As you can see, easy mode is if you just... it practically wins the map for you, so it's good if you aren't very good at the game or don't want to work on the hard stuff and just want the story. And I do think the game has a genuinely good story, it just, could use a lot less waxing poetic if we're absolutely blunt. I need to go... Actually, I need to grab a drink of water. I guess my throat's a bit more dry than I was expecting. I've got a couple drinks this time because, you know, VN's their murder on my throat. Rather than Palace, let's bring Stainless. Palace is good, don't get me wrong, but Stainless.
I'm a little nervous. Still, pressure's a good motivator, right?
Alright, so it looks like we definitely want to control this middle area here. Because I'll have to... That way I can keep around... Looks like most enemies will congregate in those middle 6 tiles there. Ideally, I'd rather not have to get them close to the blue boxes, but I guess we'll see. Amiya, Doctor, you're here. As you can see, the morale is rather low right now. It's a mess, but please pay it no mind. Ever since Allerdale left, our logistics have been in shambles. Yeah, the official story is that she sacrificed herself to protect us from the Steam Knight as it destroyed the place the mystical sword was hidden in. But given the problems we face, this is the best solution we have. We've lost many men in our last battle. We once thought these sacrifices would not be in vain, that as long as we stopped the Sarkaz projects, everything would be salvageable. Regrettably, they acted much faster than we anticipated. The Sarkaz, not only do they have the shard, they also built that airship. The reports have been distributed to everyone. The airship attacked the Duke of Windermere's army out in the open. The illusion of peace has been shattered. As for the shard, if the Sarkaz willingly started this war, the control of the shard must have proceeded much further along than we expected. Yeah, we were kind of hoping that by cutting off the supply lines in the last chapter, we could prevent an all-out attack from happening, but it seems they were much further along than we actually thought they were. I'm too afraid to make this gamble. Allerdale once told me the legend of the sword. She said the Sigh of Kings, capable of rendering catastrophes asunder, is Victoria's strongest shield, with which the country can defend against storms pulled towards it. And she must have also told you the stone of the sword beneath the palace exists precisely because there are few who can activate this power. Sage, you truly feel nothing from the sword? Maybe, I don't know, a sense of being summoned, or perhaps there's a low heat. Maybe you could suddenly use some really wicked Gretchen arts. You might actually be able to... No, nothing. I see. There's some sort of lock on the sword's power, and we need to find that. The sword is cold and hard. It's a little lighter than swinging a hammer, and not very easy to control your strength with. Is there nothing else? Is there any part of you that feels a bit off? We should have polished this before it sees the battlefield again. It's a little rusted. It seems we can't count on the sword doing much good in this turn and helping us fend off a threat from the Shard for the time being. But it also won't become a bargaining chip in the Duke's internal strife. Right, Dr. of Rhodes Island. It's better for the sword to be under our control than any other faction. At the very least, being able to prevent it from being an accomplice to this war is important enough. Important enough. This is important enough. Allerdale, if only I... Please don't get discouraged, Siege. Maybe you just haven't gotten the hang of it, or it's not time yet. True, even Amiya had to awaken her power at the right moment. Hence why she was able to class change from a caster to an arts guard. I am just about done analyzing the supply line, Doctor. It's practically guaranteed the starting point is rural Brentwood, but it's got a lot of endpoints. Aside from the munitions factory in Highbury, it's very likely they have a route that extends right underneath the Shard. We probably found out way too late. If only we found it a month, no, even 10 days sooner, things probably wouldn't turn out the way they have. That said, the intel about the supply route is still meaningful, Doctor. If this route is capable of the transport of heavy supplies that leads straight to the bottom of the Shard, this is an opportunity for a counteroffensive. That's right, with the war having broken out, there may or may not be a lot of guards around Therasis. Each lord of the royal court has to command their subordinates to fend off the dukes. The liches joining the fray would be a problem, but from what I know about them, they wouldn't truly pick a side. Besides, I'm sure Dame Calcit talked to their messenger before. I just hope they opted to follow her advice. Now, we best... Vina, you ought to at least bring up what happened in Norport. It's all tough, the Sarkaz assholes got it out. Bart is still in there. Bloody bastards, don't have a counter-offense of the supply line, we should be helping them. Calm down, I must think of the whole situation. You little twat, you think being a knight gives you the right to teach me to look at the big picture? I don't give a shite about wiping some old Sarkaz monsters. My friends are in danger, and my home is in danger. You don't want me to bloody stand aside and do nothing? No, I know you're restless, but we must consider all possibilities. I do not recommend splitting up, unless we are certain the ones who attempted to take the Realm Blade have given up. Best cower on the ground like cowards? Give me a break. We can take care of those sneaky bastards. What we have to do now is... Enough, Indra. Alright, fine. When will the operation targeting terrorists commence? Not very soon. We need time to fully observe the line-specific situation. The Shard's internal structure needs to be investigated. Terrorists, he's powerful. Letting our guards down would only spell our doom. How long will it take more specifically? Less than half a month. I hope to put a stop to all this before he truly activates the Shard. That's good enough. Doctor, I'm requesting a temporary leave for this operation. Please rest assured I'll be back for the operations commence. So you insist on going to Norport? I've lost enough friends already, Clavicia. I can't do nothing over and over again. I'm making this request about my personal feelings, yes. I won't even try to hide that. But at the same time, I think this is an opportunity. Before a normal operation officially begins, we can remove certain hidden threats. For example, those who hurt Allerdale and those who want the Sigh of Kings. Yeah, not only that, we still don't know why that Norport was separated from the city and then attacked. Something about it is important. They couldn't have it there, or that they need it separated for whatever reason. By handling this, we will figure out the problem. That's without a doubt a duke. No matter what position he's planning to take, I think I should have a conversation with him. Ascalon said this already, but time is not on our side. I understand. I'll handle this properly. Doctor, what do you think? There's still things worthy of our attention on that plate. Right, the Sarkaz airship is very likely docked in Norport, and this also implies Theresa might be there. In this war, we'll have to face her sooner or later. Yeah, Teresa, as a quick recap, is the one who raised Amia and started Babel, which is what became Rhodes Island, the very one, and she even worked with the Doctor for a time before we became an amnesiac and lost our memories. We don't know much about the Doctor's past except that apparently they were some kind of asshole, to a degree. However, something happened, Theresa died, the Doctor was put into basically cryostasis to avoid overcomplicating the story more than already will be, and Amia was granted all of Theris's powers as the King of Sarkaz. So, the fact that she's back is already rather interesting, since that means they functionally had a way to raise the dead, and not as a zombie, as an actual person. But this also means we have to fight an old friend, since she's, siding against us. There's nothing. Logos mentioned to me. Emergency transmission. The Sarkaz ambushed the Camden Bro safe house. The forces, Calm down, what's going on? Alert, the safe house at Octorog, being ambushed. Why is the safe house that I is under attack? What's the situation over there? Mounting a counterattack and are evacuating the ground. The situation's dire. It's like the Sarkaz. This is not simple annihilation. They're planning to... Granny, do you hear me? Drat, the transmission's cut off. What's going on? We have 3 safe houses under attack by the Sarkaz. Communications are cut off. We must back up. No, it's not just 3 safe houses. Our communications were cut off. Get down, Doctor! Right, all of them are being attacked at once, which means... Gloria, what's going on? How can this be? This place is top secret! Logos mentioned to me that's possible Sarkaz have infiltrated our intelligence network. So yeah, Molly has still been compromised. Based on the situation we find ourselves in, we can only assume the failure of our confidentiality far exceeds what we anticipated. It's very likely all of the Self-Salvation Corps bases are under attack. We must evacuate! Where can we even go, though? Well, we do have a plate we're planning anyway. Everyone, the Sarkaz assault is fierce. They've had their eyes on this place for a long time, and the routes on the surface are already fallen. The mid-level buffer zone's been breached, too. Doctor, the enemy's using a new Sarkaz witchcraft device. With their numbers and strength, our defense force and Self-Salvation Corps won't be able to withstand the assault. Truth be told, we have no chance of winning. Robin, who's in charge of organized defense, won't last long. How much time can they buy us? 15 minutes? Half an hour? That's all we have time left. Evacuate. Where are we supposed to run? There isn't anywhere safe for them in Londinium. The equipment factory's third, the car park at Four Seasons department, maybe Viscount Burns' mansion. No, they're too risky. Somewhere else. If it's dangerous everywhere in Londinium, we can evacuate the city itself for the time being. Evacuate Londinium, but... Right, the Sarkaz supply line. We can use it in Highbury and get the hell out of Londinium. We got too many wounded men and non-combatants. Taking an underground route will help us avoid most of the fighting. Oh, but all our work in Londinium. The onslaught we're facing tells us they simply thought they had no need to wipe us out before. Now the war's broken out, the military commission started to truly see us as a threat. Yeah, they know that they can't possibly fight all these fronts if we happen to start attacking. We've no time to hesitate. I need to head out immediately, back Robin up. We'll try to draw the Sarkaz main force attention best we can to cover your evacuation. Very well. Doctor, the Self-Salvation Corps will need your assistance in the evacuation. We'll never abandon our allies. He's a... Ascalon, mount a breakout. Misery, destroy all the files. I'm on it. Logos. I'm here. Help Horn and her team buy us time. Rest assured, Doctor. I guarantee you safety. Someone pointed out to me recently, but apparently that's actually a mesh. A transparent mesh on the Logos' chest. I genuinely never noticed that. I thought that was part of his outfit. I mean, it's part of his outfit, but you know what I mean. Before we could realize our plans to relocate and secure our communications, the Royal Court picked the perfect time for this annihilation mission. It seems they know us better than we ever imagined. Theirs has also gotten sharper. Not like when he was simply pretending. If it's certain this place will fall, I guess it won't matter if we go all out. Logos will fall back. You can rebuild this place. Next, we need to find the entrance to the Highbury supply route. sacrifice, this is where you come in. Understood. Everyone come with me. Closure, take the wounded non-combatants and go with them. I'm counting on you and Shine to take care of Calcid. What, huh? Hey, Doctor, is this some kind of sick joke? I'm supposed to be a non-combatant, so are you. You bet your ass I can beat the crap out of you. It's you should be evacuating the rest of them. Ami and Ascalon make sure I'll be safe. Hafa. Doctor, I won't let you get hurt. So we got 3 teams. Horn, Misery, and Logos will lead the primary operation to resist the Sarkis assault. Doctor, go with Ami and Siege's gang to hold the other Sarkis pursuers. Shang and I will follow the rest of the self-salvation and evacuate this place without any noise. Where are we going to meet up in the end? The small town outside Londinium, Brentwood. Alright, objective confirmed. We're now in war. It won't spare any one of us, but we also mustn't lose hope. Dang, this storyline's going 0 to 60 pretty quick. The previous 2 had a bit of a build-up first.
It's time. We should be departing any moment now.
I think keyword think this should work. I'm not sure if I should be doing this, but let's find out.
Down to work.
Oh crap, there's not enough people to hold them.
Very well.
We'll take them out all at once.
Alright, we have some confirmed. Those are indeed real. Yeah, sadly, this is not something Silver Ash's true sight can help us with.
Not one of you is getting away.
That's an enemy.
Arrived at designated position. Treatment target sighted. I've got a way to treat you here.
What are you planning?
Let's put Zerny here.
In my music is your honor.
Do I have to jump down?
Alright, let's get Cruise Alter here as well. These particular Sarkaz enemies have a bit higher magic resistance than physical, so...
No matter what trouble we're in, I'll face it together with all of you.
Alright, at least the tanks are still pretty good at blocking. Ah, I'm glad I got one. That would have been that would have been a... Yeah.
No matter
That
what
would have
trouble
damaged
we're in,
my
I'll
health.
face it together with all of you.
Shall I close? Shut up, or else!
Oh, is it my turn? Do I have to jump down? I've got a real penchant for that.
Alright, let's do it this way then. Time for the Pyro to handle it. Yeah, that has to be an enemy because there's only one enemy left and nothing else is spawning. Boom.
Mission accomplished.
Excellent. Come in. Come in. You're here, Golding. Leto, you know us better than I ever imagined. What do you mean? Londinium Self-Salvation Corps, where'd you get this information from? Oh, does it matter? Exceed Lady Golding, please. There's no reason for you to feel anxious. This war is not between you and I. Answer me, Lieutenant. I know why you came along. Golding, you want to buy time. You're under the impression you have enough leverage to discuss terms. You think you could still help your friends. How regrettable. I thought you'd be wiser. We had a conversation not too long ago. You said you do not want to see Londinium become the next Hex Lingones. Take a look around us. Take a look at the deep abyss that Londinium is plunging into. Is this the choice you made for yourself that you spoke about? Golding, didn't you reboot me on that? Correct. We're plunging towards the abyss. War has begun. Tore apart Gaul, our homeland. What will it tear apart this time? Maybe it will be the Sarkaz. Maybe Victoria. You know how disaster will be. Hundreds of thousands, millions will bleed, die, and be buried by this era. You know that better than anyone. That is correct. I know this very well, but I must also admit that it is you who opened my eyes. You made me reflect on my decision. If I had to question my conscience, I would not have cared nearly as much. Let's cast aside these hypothetical high hopes of this mankind or civilization, Golding. When we were young, we talked freely of these subjects, and with nothing but admiration in our hearts, and sung the praises of the outstanding men and women in history. Oops. Mankind, the master of all things, our intelligence and bravery set us apart from the wild beasts that grace these lands with the radiant miracle. But if we simply lifted our heads from the books to compare, we'd realize how close their endings are to the reality before us. Same downfall, same rottenness, same self-destruction. What if all those things we sing praise of were nothing but temporary illusions? What if believing they're eternal makes us naive? What if destruction is our true nature? You weren't so pessimistic before. The entire Self-Salvation Corps plunged into crisis because of Golding's mistake, and Leto attempts to break her in defense. Meanwhile, he provides an opportunity. Pessimistic, Golding. You are far too kind with the choice of words. You describe my crazed musings as just pessimistic. I thought I warranted harsher criticism. It seems you're not as resolute as I thought you'd be. I'm simply exhausted. I merely started trying to face reality. It's very painful, but I have no other choice. As to the conversation we had the other day, I can now offer you a new answer. I did not choose any missions for myself. I only wanted to survive the ceaseless destruction. It's pitiful and weak, insignificant and inadequate, but this is the answer I've arrived at, and the only one I have to offer. What else can I do? But you're a soldier, you should have followed orders. Whose orders would I have followed? The king is dead, the Sarkas run the parliament, and each duke has his own master plan. I mean, you could have become a hero. At what cost? Well, the price is not one I can afford. When you walk in the room, do you see the eyes of the guards standing by the door? These officers under me, these bewildered young men. Till has 5 children, says his mother's been paralyzed for years, and Tauten's brother has homeopathy. The vampires will suck their blood dry. Bowing down will not prevent anything, at the very least. Nothing has happened yet, as of today. Golding, it's my hope that you survive this as well, speaking personally. Fundamentally, you and I may be of a kind. It's only that I've chosen to give up while you're standing firm. You and I are nothing alike. You're asking me where I obtained the information of the Self-Salvation Corps? Very well, I should answer you from a cowardly teacher. What are you saying? Look at yourself, Golding. Your blunders and tracks left behind are oh, dear cowardice and fear. Sentimental kinds have never been a good fit for intelligence work. You've known that from the start. No, it can't be. There's been a lot of chatter on my communications here. Sarka's ambushed. Camden Borough Safe House. We, the forces. Alert. Safe House at Octorog. Hello, can anyone hear me? This is Camden Borough Safe House. We're under. No. Golding, they're all dying because of you. You pushed them in the fire. This is what your fight brings, and for that I can only mourn. There's too many men. They're well equipped and they're working far too well with each other. Mercenaries aren't capable of this. These are military elites. Each and every one of them is a bloodthirsty machine who dug his way out of 1,000 battles. Out of the way, the lot of ya! I love how Ascalon had all those specified thoughts, and Indra's just all throwing out insult. Indra, watch your back. This isn't gonna work. We're on the back foot right now. I will locate the position of the commander. Amia, maintain formation. Do not stop. Got it. Damn, there's more down this alley. Stay close, Doctor. We'll cut our way through. Go forward 300 meters, take the first left. Who was that? Hurry up, there's more ambushers on the roof. Doctor, did you hear that? Watch out for their odds. Cut the danger zone. Hold on tight, Doctor. Left. Alright, might as well listen to the voice. I hate being ordered around. Tisk fine. I like the Indra skin they made for this story. It's really nice. 50 meters. And to your right. Bloody, there's a wall there. No. Some kind of illusion, perhaps. Charge through it. An illusory wall. A classic. There's no one I hate more than a sneaky bastard like you. Show yourself. That assassin of yours has already taken down the commander of your pursuers. You're safe for the time being. I said show yourself. Her name is Escalon, is it? Impressive. Doctor, behind me. Who are you? Please, there's no need to fret, dear Rhodes Islanders. A few of my colleagues just touched base with Alexandrina a long time ago. Not too long ago. Alas, it did not go too well. You're the man behind Allerdale. Show yourself. I won't say it again. Please lower your hammer, your highness. You are merely wasting your strength. As heir to the throne, from a certain viewpoint, you should have a bit more patience. You said so yourself not long ago. We should have a conversation. You had the self-salvation core tapped. Their evacuation plan will be successful. Do note that this is a promise, not sarcasm. Yeah, the mysterious person. My sincerest pleasure to meet all of you, ladies and gentlemen. I hope there yet remains room for objectives to coexist. On Ashen Trilby, very perceptive, Lady Isabel Montague. I should have expected no less from a scion of the Count of Manchester. Indeed, we are often referred to as the Trilby Ashers. Should you have the chance, please send your mother my regards. You... Please, there is no need for alarm, Lady Montague. I harbor no ill will against you and your friends. At the moment. Is the arts gimmick you have over there a gesture of your goodwill, too? I'm not fond of having conversations next to a pile of explosives. This is merely a precaution. Well, here's a precaution, too. Lower your weapon, Miss Escalon. This is not worth it. Rhode Island Pharmaceuticals made a series of passage and call permit requests to the so-called industrial waste recycling processing purposes currently hiding within the territory of the Duke of Gododin, currently 631 kilometers away from Lindinium. And what if we are? Miss Amia, I surmise your recycling work is proceeding apace? Oh, whoops. Looks like the Victorian bigwigs aren't completely oblivious to us. We merely do what must be done. You have been very careful. You charted a course and built well-hidden supply network around your ship. You wish to avoid Victoria's attention, and you almost fooled us. Regardless of whether your intentions are good or otherwise, wouldn't you agree that discretion is the worst quality there is to a ruler? Who do you serve, Mr. Trilby Asher? If at all possible, I would say I serve Victoria. Alas, the reality is I only serve a small part of it. And a small part is more than enough to keep me well occupied, however. Which means you work for one of the dukes, then. If the Duke of Wellington saw us as a threat, Rhode Islands would have already been attacked. The Duke of Windermere's control has yet to reach Duke Gododin's territory, not by a long shot. From what I know, the Duke of Normandy is more interested in business, and most other dukes are fence-sitters. Therefore, by process of elimination, you work for Castor. Doctor, the commander of Rhode Island, there exists very little information on you. We were under the impression this was due to a lack of importance. We will reevaluate our internal appraisal. What is Rhode Island worth to the part of Victoria you speak of? We actually do not have much interest in a so-called pharmaceutical company that deals in waste recycling, but your operator has a very unique background. Moreover, she possesses something important. You failed once, we still haven't given up. This is my job, your highness. Let us not make things harder for each other. The sword is nothing more than a heady rod of iron in your hands. What do you intend to do with it? Can you truly cut through the catastrophe that lings above us? It's a mere tale. You cannot wield its true potential. What does the Duke of Castor want with it, then? To fulfill a promise. Promise? To bring her followers peace and safety. We do indeed have a certain technologies that can immediately put this blade to good use, just as the Sire Kings once sheltered Londinium. The Duke wishes for this blade to become a turning point for unity. In that case, those who aren't on your side will be swallowed by the catastrophe. This is how it will become that turning point. Doctor, I'll make my move in 3 seconds. We must escape. Our operators on land are more than capable of taking care of the crisis that should soon unfold. And so we should take this risk. 3, 2, 1. Oh, you seem pretty tense. Perhaps I came at a bad time? Right on time. Inez. I knew she'd be here sooner or later. She is, after all, the raid-up banner here. Unfortunately for anyone who wanted to see if I was pulling, I am not. As a free-to-play, I've just gone dry from the crossover, and therefore I'm going to simply be holding out for now. Waiting to see what comes. I need to gather my resource and prepare, though I might still build Morgan, since I do like how her kit looks, and hella drop an instant nuke. But we'll see. Mr. Trilby Asher, you have to admit you came well prepared. 13 small communication stations, 4 of them trigger passively. They're set up to automatically send out orders if they don't receive your message after 10 minutes. I didn't want to venture a guess as to what orders they are meant to stand out, so I took the liberty of crushing them all. I hope you don't mind. Your subordinates were very strong even after they heard the word vampire. That said, I believe that aside from the Sarkaz royal court, there are certain others hiding in the city who would be very interested in learning their existence. Tell me, where do you suppose I should take them? Inez, former Sarkaz mercenary. It's hardly surprising you're still alive. We've determined for some time now that someone's behind all these ill tricks around Lindium. You've done very well. We know there's a sizable number of Sarkaz mercenaries inclined to leave the military commission's control, but we both know that does not come without a cost, do we? Your business partner may be in fairly dire straits. Perhaps we should be a little more blunt with each other. I know you have more tricks up your sleeve, and you know we have some trump cards in our hand. Let's stop probing each other. Your shadow tells me you're wavering. Very well, let's make a deal. I have a tricky mission, but as you can see, I'm not much for fighting and adventure. So you want someone to die in your stead. I have faith in your abilities. Certainly. You've already seen the airship that's currently parked at now isolated Norport Borough. Make your way there and get your hands on the schematics. And what's in it for me? You get to live. For now. You, your friends or allies are wounded. Your land ship all get to remain alive. This is no trouble at Victoria, but for the rest of you... I suppose this is one of those offers we can't refuse. You're too weak, I'm invincible! Flawless. Alright, once again, I need to sip of my drink because my throat is parched. Yeah, I'm not buying these tiny waters ever again. I do have backup, but... yeah, I thought they'd be nice. Maybe I could just bring smaller ones for streams, a couple for bigger ones, but no. I end up buying twice as many, and, yeah. I'm just gonna get regular water bottles from and stuff. All are equal before the flames of war. Do not entrust all your hopes to others and lose sight of your own strength. Oh, I do not like that center there. So yeah, I do in fact have to hold two fronts. This is gonna suck. Unfortunately, I don't have room for Heidi here, but is there an Ifrit lane, actually? I guess the scent just right through the center might not be bad. Perhaps a tank on each side will hold it easily. How quick to answer, Doctor. A safe location has been sent to Alexandrina's terminal. Please stand by there. I cannot guarantee safety for any actions you take outside of our arrangement. After a long disappearance, Inez finally reappears while Logos catches as the Damazi cluster who's been disguising themselves. The riots in Newport further control. My terminal. You have some impressive talents among your ranks. That's very good. This should contribute to our common goal instead of becoming an obstacle to our cooperation, right? Is it a Victorian thing to call threats cooperation? Regrettably, yes, actually. Please, await our next communication. Doctor, I need to contact Closure and reevaluate the safety of Rhode Island communications. Until then, maintain radio science. Of course, we also need to take care of the issues regarding the land ship's calling procedures. Thank you, Inez. Hello, Inez. Is this the first time we've met? I'm afraid not. Oops. I've lost some of my memories. I'm aware. This is our first meeting for this version of you. Have you truly lost your memories? Is this part of your plan? What makes you ask that? I've never been so quick to judge, Doctor. I can sense you've gone through some changes. We'll have time to get reacquainted in the future. Rather than trusting verbal statements, I'd like to see things for myself. Inez, the Doctor. Relax, Ami. My prejudices won't be a factor. For now. Well, I guess that's all I can ask for at the moment. The evacuation's almost complete. Good, we need to get out of here ASAP. That's Sarcasm Rose Island. Is his name Logos? And I thought we'd seen all the surprise Rose Island's fighting style had to offer. Having fought aside misery all this time. Right, it doesn't matter exactly who he is. His curse craft has been a great help. And he's a great darts player, too. I played against him a couple rounds. His accuracy might be just as terrifying as those magics of his. A friend of mine taught me a couple tricks before, that's all. He's no match for me in a chair sliding match. When it comes to darts, he's not so bad. Horton, the Sarkaz forces have retreated. We should seize this opportunity. According to the plan, Rose Island and the Self-Salvation Corps will take the supply route, head towards the exit, make their way to a town called Brentwood to build a new safe house there. We'll regroup with them there. I suggest we charge to the city walls. Norport Borough is gone, and even though Sarkas have patched up the walls, they wouldn't have had enough time to build new panels to fill the holes there. The exposed underground structure might just help us somehow. Looks like I've met another old friend. The one who taught you to play darts. Regrettably, no. Unlike this old friend, friends are loyal to one another until our... Unlike this old friend, my friends are loyal to one another until our deaths. Everyone, I'm afraid I have matters to attend to within the city. Horn is more than capable of leading you, and my coworker Misery will also lend assistance should the need arise. Understood. Stay hidden, everyone. Yeah, I'm kind of hesitant to go with this skip dialogue since that kind of can spoil you, but sometimes they also clarify things in that text. Stay hidden, everyone. Follow me. Are the mountains of the past really so worthy of reminiscing? Blood and tears are nothing to be obsessed with. I must say I'm not entirely fascinated by them. What if the mountains are the only place there's left to stay? What if the only light of the glory can give us warmth? And here I thought I'd hunted enough of you. This is the 31st, Molly. You're a hard-working one, Banshee. 31st? Wait, so not only has there been a replacement, it's been tons of them. This makes me wonder, was there ever truly a Molly to begin with, or were they all fakes all the way down? But you have prevailed nonetheless. You helped Theresis decimate the Self-Salvation Corps. That's business. I'd pry up every tile in Londinium to find the rest of your hidden shards, Damazi. Yet you refute the possibility of change. This has always been your choice. A little arrogant, aren't we? A little arrogant, aren't we, Banshee? We understand the change. We come from change itself. But change is merely a means to adaptation. All change has a final objective. Yeah, Damazi is a very special type of Sarkaz. They are effectively a slime, if I remember right. And that explains their shape-shifting abilities. I'd say I don't remember if they're male or female, but if we're blunt, I'm pretty sure they're sexless. After all, if one can decide what they have at any given time, well, what meaning does physical gender matter? Even before the Sarkaz found them, even before the Sarkaz found themselves in this state, we've long been walking upon the lands. Ideologies, faiths, mission slogans, none of them can escape the sands of time. Those ideas you mistake as novel have been conceived long ago. The paths you deem noble have been paved time and again. And where are they now? We yet still before you, and that is the greatest proof. Bang, bang, bang. Phew. You should save some strength, Kandor. You've eaten more than enough. Delphine's talked to you about your appetite problem lately. We're much worse off than we used to be now. Relax, Bar. Things haven't completely gone to shit yet. Them devils aren't nearly as strong as they look. All they did was catch us off guard. I had a chat with Marshall of the Transportation Union. They have a group of men over there. Once we rope in more people on our end, we might just stand a chance to defeat the Sarkaz. Just like how we joined forces with those other gangs to take the cops down. Jump from behind, get the job done clean. Pow, pow, bam. A couple punches, that's all it takes. The Sarkaz army aren't cops. I know they're a force to be reckoned. They're a force to be reckoned with. But we're not afraid of blood. We're afraid of sacrifice. My accent for this character is all over the place. Even I don't know what I'm going for with him anymore. But we're in front of blood. One of our sacrifices will walk all over the fallen comrades, smash faces with our fists, like our gym name, Slobberknocker. Marsh and I worked out. We'll definitely win. Just like those bootleg Lungman videos you collect. Oh, I'm serious. I've been around the block in Newport, not much shorter than you. We need a way out of this mess just like before. That siege of yours just up and left Glasgow all those years ago, and our turf got handed over just like that. It was you and I who racked our brains to figure out how to gain a foothold here again. This is nothing different from before. We stand together, get prepared, and beat them all up. That's how we made it this far. Doesn't matter how things are outside. Out on the streets, we do things the street way. Next, we gotta find ourselves the right moment. Looks like Delphine's back. The old baldy pair finally give in. Given the circumstances, we're playing a pretty decent price. What's this, blood? Old baldy pair is dead. The Sarkaz. No, not Sarkaz, damn it. I have no idea who they were, but they were already at it when we got the store. They're a bloodthirsty bunch. I saw with my own eyes. Man with a crowbar, pinning another man on the floor. Cough, cough. The situation's bad. My guess is some starving bum set his sights on the pair shop. The idiot still had bread in his glass showcase. And when, as you'd expect, you can more or less guess how many of these bums are in this lockdown district. Bloody idiots. What have they been sniffer? And must have finally got to their heads. I know the man with the crowbar. He's a tail hair product salesman. Always has a smile on his face. I from a number of times since he gave me discounts. They aren't all that good, though. I saw him just now. His eyes are deep red, his blood on his lips. The crowbar is completely bent. I almost didn't recognize him. Fear is spreading, Kador. The transport union guys would say there'd be cowards going nuts, but how could... Interesting. Is there a drug or something going around controlling people? Barricade the door! What are you spacing out for? Make yourself useful. Push the sofa. Bloody bastards, what lot do you want? Now piss off, I got some people alive in here. This is Glasgow territory. Bard, watch out! A fire axe smashes the door and breaks up in a hole. The sharp axe brushes past Bard's hair. A few strands flutter in the air. What's that already? We got people bloody alive in here. He presses against the door with his body and grabs the axe, peeking through with his two hands. The man outside makes several attempts to pull it back in vain. I don't care who the hell you are, but get out of my sight or I'll have this axe in your brain. The axe wobbles a few times. After a heavy kicking in the door, the men outside finally give up. Chaotic footsteps slowly growing quieter. Your hand and fingers. Good thing's bandages are the last thing we'll run out of in a gym. Bard, Delphine, we need to take inventory of our resources again. I'll take a couple of sandbags to reinforce the door. These people, have they gone mad? Citizens are all upstanding men, basically. What about the police? They're all so quick to write tickets. If a cop were so unlucky as to not make it out of this in time, I would definitely have locked myself in my home and my weapon ready by now. I need to head over to the transport union later. The people are still trust the marshal. Everyone always listen to me. I'm flying away. Down bloody hell. The circus is still out there, and the people are their minds. How could they? Yeah, they're doing something to manipulate these people. Oh. What should we do now? He said we had to wait for an opportunity. Mr. Next Academician, are you aware of the great fire in Norport 15 years ago? Oh, yes, I'd heard. There's a fire in the port of Icon. It doesn't actually take much down to burn a port. All you need is scorching hot weather, a warehouse full of wood shavings, and a cigarette butt not fully extinguished. No one could put out a fire like that. All we can do is watch everything burn to ashes. A unity is a luxury. Oh yeah, I forgot we have a thing to do.
I've finished tuning. I may perform now.
Well,
Auf eure Plätze.
I've pretty much accepted that if I'm doing
Show
when
me
I'm
what
doing a
you're
story
made
chapter,
of.
most of it's going to be dedicated to
If you even can.
Oh wow, these. Wait, are the enemies themselves on fire or just the tire fire?
We'll take them out, or my rule is to balance your lives hanging.
Gonna need this, so let's do it this way.
Alert!
Alright, this gives time for crews to identify them.
Not one of you is getting a...
My rule is to balance your lives hanging.
Yeah.
My rule is to balance your lives hanging.
Everyone, focus on fighting. I've got a way to treat you here. Everyone hanging in there?
Yes?
Down to work.
These guys are gonna be a bit slower. I should do this.
No matter what trouble we're in, I'll face it together with all of you. Everyone, hang in there.
Oh, some invisible enemies. Well, this isn't gonna be fun now, is it?
Get a hold of your breathing and relax.
Gonna have to use a
Tremble in my music.
tank here, yeah.
Is your honor.
That should be good. Stainless can just hang out and do his thing.
Shall I close? Silence, support.
I use Zerny because he actually has a pretty good attack stat.
I'll face it together
Also, I
with
like
all
Cerny.
of you.
I only have a handful of units at max level after all.
matter what trouble
Yeah, there's
you're
no good
in,
Ifrit
I'll
spot
face
here, I
it
don't think.
together with all of you. Go ahead. I'm ready if you're going.
Yeah, those invisible guys are annoying. -1? Oh. Oh, I see what happened here.
Everyone, hang in there.
Crap. Well, I'm still with the event, so I
Terrible.
get complete
If I
refunds
really
on all
let myself
chapters.
loose, things would get a whole lot nastier.
But yeah, I'm
For
noticing
everyone
that
involved.
my Pyro plan, Team Fortress 2 Pyro plan's not working. Eben doesn't seem like a bad option. He's really expensive, though. Rock is only about 21, so she'll be fine. Oh yeah, I did finally get Rock
It's my
during...
job to protect my family.
Yeah, I got her a while ago while doing the polls for the crossover characters.
I've finished tuning. I may perform now.
Relax, the targets aren't that bad.
What a pain. My rule is to balance your lives hanging. Are you ready?
Not one of you is getting away.
Yeah, these guys hit pretty hard, but... Yeah, Saga has her,
Arrived at designated position.
yeah, I've got her
Treatment
module at
target
max
sighted.
level, so she has a lot of self-sustain. Oh, this is not good. Oh. Well, like I said, might as well abuse the fact the event gives me free refunds.
Don't panic.
Yeah, I need to get crews out sooner rather than later. But I'm real confident in my team. I believe in my team. I know we can do this.
For want of a nail, the kingdom was lost.
Show me what you're made of,
I need to get the vanguards out first,
if
but...
you even can.
On alert. My weapon chooses its worthy wielder.
Yeah, her self-heal's good enough she doesn't need a medic for nearly as long.
Don't get careless just because I'm here.
Interesting,
My
they were all
rule
on
is
that
to
side,
balance your
correct?
lives hanging.
Don't worry. Everyone hanging in there? Arrived at designated position. Treatment target sighted. Get a hold of your breathing and relax.
I have to be careful. We now know that some of these enemies can block you, which is very frustrating and not very
Get a hold of
fun.
your breathing.
Get lost.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't like these guys with invisibility. That's not fun.
Picked a good place for me.
I've got a way to treat you here.
Yeah, the reason it didn't work wasn't bad on this end.
Get a hold of your breathing and relax.
Shall I close? Silence, support!
Nice thing about Zerny's skill is it doubles his max HP, so he can even tank true damage.
Breathing and relax.
Not a huge deal most of the time, but you never know.
Everyone,
Ah,
hang in there.
When 'tis a choice
yeah,
of
so
life
that's the
and
issue.
death, why shouldst thou lay down thy arms?
Frustrating.
Get a hold of your breathing.
But I can deal with this.
Relax.
Thorns can heal himself, so I think he'll be okay.
You dare strike my shield with your spear?
But we might need more
That's
offense
gonna
here,
end
so...
with you in pieces.
No matter what trouble we're in, I'll face it together with all of you. Oh, is it my turn?
Damn it! Yeah, I don't think... Yeah, once... I probably should have retreated
Terrible.
Crew's altar after that
If I really let myself
group started
loose,
moving,
things
simply
will
because
get a
she's there to
whole lot
identify the stuff.
nastier for
It's clear by now
everyone
she's not going to
involved.
kill anything, but that's fine. As long as she identifies the good and evil ones, I think we're in good shape. Actually, rather than Rock, I could bring Yato Altar, but she just makes things a bit too easy. So...
Of course. It's my job to protect my family.
I guess I can do it with this team just fine. I just have to remember to recruit crews. Yeah, the deployment limit's really being the noose around the neck, so to speak, here.
My drones are ready, Doctor. Should I scout ahead? Let's clear the place in one fell swoop.
Alright, wait till that one moves, then place siege. Here we are.
My rule is to balance your lives hanging.
Don't make any more
Yeah, Crew's
noise.
Altar needs to be out sooner rather than later. Wait until that one's in range. Now. Yeah, this is gonna be a little annoying.
Yes?
Oh, damn it. I forgot to get a healer out in time. I am making a lot of rookie mistakes. But I suppose the best time to make them is while it's still free to do so. If we're honest, I should also be using a real healer. Because bluntly, Paprika is, she's... No one builds her for a good reason, if we're honest.
Compassion saves no one on the battlefield.
Run while you can. Better to be a coward with a pulse than a martyr with a grave. We'll take the get lost. Yes?
Oh, right.
Don't make any more noise.
Get lost.
Not one of you is getting away.
Yes?
Arrived at designated position. Treatment target sighted.
No.
Get a hold of your breathing. Everyone hanging in there?
Extraordinary melodies can only be played by the soul that quakes.
No matter what trouble we're in, I'll face it together with all of you. Go ahead. Stand still.
If she even just kills one, it helps, I think. But she's not going to. They have a lot more HP than well, it is a verse environment.
No matter what trouble we're in, I'll face it together with all of you. Get behind me if you feel yourself slipping.
Shall I open? Silence the fort!
Yeah, Thorns gets his in a reasonable amount of time. I don't need to force Stainless in here.
To treat you here. No matter what trouble we're in, I'll face it together with all of you.
Very frustrating. The good news is this seems to be the only wave of them, so I can...
No matter what trouble we're in, I'll face it together with all of you.
Ready to deploy my drones.
Shall I close? Silence, sofort!
Get a hold of your breathing and relax.
Rock, you know what to do. Actually, no. Here we are.
Rent is a choice of life.
Yeah, Rock.
I'm not watching my friends die again.
Rock is absurdly is actually
I can see the enemy's tracks.
might not seem like it, but Rock is actually really strong for a 5-star. She's even stronger than Golden Glow by a good amount, but she does have a bit of a drawback to it. And that's that she's really stunned once her skill ends. But if it's dead, it doesn't really matter now, does it? These munitions factories are all empty. We hauled away 2 production lines and tore down the others. The situation was dire. We didn't know how long we had until the Sarkar's mercenaries caught on to what we were up to in the factories. Otherwise, we could have taken even more equipment. Highbury, this new industrial district feels different from the old one I was in. In Sudian, were more like spanners, hammering away and knock together everything at all costs. But here, these production lines, I don't know. Maybe you guys are more like gears, turning over ever so stably and day out. We're used to it. That's how shocking human adaptability is. Found it. It's here. Why are there symbols carved in the collection boxes? Years ago, our workshop used to use these as code words, let each other know when we slack off. Never did I imagine they'd one day come in handy. Looks like workers everywhere just want to catch a breather no matter the cost. Let's see here. Paddle recognized most of the self-salvation corps from the other districts. Highbury Safe House is ambushed with a few of the pipelines deeper in the plate that's used as rest stops weren't discovered. They should be there. I'm back. I've marked the positions of all the Sarkaz mercenaries. There's not a whole lot of them. Looks like all the manpower in the city would ever handle the front lines or follow the others. Closure. I still can't say I agree with you installing voice banks on my drones. Hey, don't forget I help upgrade this drone of yours. Alright. Alright, so that's Closure's voice. Alright, enough chip chat. I just heard from Ascalon that some of our communication systems might be compromised by some Victorian Duke. I don't really buy they can hack us all the way through, but just to be safe, I'm gonna run a whole security audit. Feist, if you confirm where the rendezvous point is. It's confirmed. Awesome. Let's see. We may have Shining as our super bodyguard, but she still has to take care of the wounded. So avoid fighting at all costs. Got it? Got it. You guys go on ahead and make contact with the remaining Self-Salvation Corps fighters first. Clavishi and I work on evacuation. Let's go, Rock. Right. What's the matter? No, nothing. I was just thinking, was Hyper always this quiet? Going by the temperature of the air, there's no furnace burning in the neighborhood. This isn't a good sign. We need to act fast. Oh, she thinks we might be surrounded. I should be able to make it deep with this maintenance access. Who's there? Feist, it's me. Tommy, you're here. You should have waited for us down there. The Sarka's army just cleared out our safe houses. There might still be patrols up there. I know, we suffer pretty heavy losses. Day broke his arm too. Catherine gave him first aid. How much longer till the rest of the group gets here? They should have already left. Don't worry, there's a professional doctor among them. She'll take care of his arm. Alright. What's this one say? Feist and his group organized a Self-Salvation Corps evacuation. In the meantime, Rodzan cannot fully trust Trilby Asher. They have no choice but cooperate with him. The cluster shows Golding the harsh truth. Our people are at the lower end of the maintenance access K-13. I heard the Self-Salvation Corps is going to evacuate Londinium. Only for the time being. We'll be back, Tommy. We're the London Citizen Self-Salvation Corps. It's just that we need to get our wounded somewhere safe, and there are none in Londinium. Alright. Now head on down. Catherine keeps it to herself. We can't tell she's worried sick. I've heard about what happened in Newport. Good gracious, the Sarkas plucked the whole plate up and tossed out of the city. I heard the Flying Fortress even destroyed the Duke's high-speed warship. A high-speed warship! War's broken out, Feist. I've never truly experienced it before. I used to think joining would be no different from before. I'd be standing in front of an assembly line, turning screws, and the only difference would be the weapons to go to you instead. But this is our home. Of course, Londinians are home too. We belong here nowhere else, right? If you ask me, I think I've shown more than enough good faith already. Hardly unexpected. We too have noticed Sarka's secret transportation network for some time now. But it's true, there are certain details that are worth getting to the bottom of, and we'll continue our investigation to focus on these areas. And I have a decent guess as to who's behind some of these events. I hope you'll share the results of your continued investigation with us. Of course, just as I previously promised, Rhode Island's response is fast. Your terminal signals have already been re-encrypted. If an opportunity ever arises, I'd love to meet your engineer, Closure. She might not like you, I must say. For a pharmaceutical corporation, your company's home to a variety of talents. That said, Her Grace has never been one to refuse new friends in lieu of making enemies. Not to mention Her Grace and Alexandrina are related by blood. She's more than willing to care for her young relative. Please do let her know how appreciative I am for her looking out for me. Your Royal Highness. I may yet call you out of sort of respect, but that does not represent my position, however. Oh, you can choose to call me Siege, then. Victoria is a heavy burden, Your Royal Highness. It is nowhere nearly as vivid and vibrant as it seems on the surface. The return of a certain person, no matter who she is or what she calls herself, is of no benefit to the nation. If under certain specific circumstances that person would use her identity as an influence inappropriately, she might even do the nation harm. That's my personal viewpoint. Then you best keep your personal viewpoint to yourself. I'm sure you know that my amenability of this peace between us does not equate to tolerance of your cliches. Your Royal Highness, there's no reason for this animosity. I'm simply following orders. I've more than demonstrated my goodwill within bounds of my responsibilities. Then perhaps your demonstration hasn't been very clear. That our definitions of goodwill are very different. It wasn't. Wouldn't my suggestion be that you make your way to Norp or Count? If I'm not wrong, you have a friend who is currently trapped there. I thought you would see that I'm very much putting myself in your shoes as I advocate for a partnership. I'm doing you a favor. My goal is to obtain the schematics. You're free to do anything else you deem necessary, including rescuing your friend. If you would offer the blade in your hand, you could even offer you my personal assistance. You can save your disgusting hypocrisy. Listen, I don't so much as want to think of what you and your Duke work for, the Dirk you work for, are scheming. Stay out of my way and get out of my sight. And you'd better remember this. For what happened to Allerdale, you and I sent... For what happened to Allerdale, you and I and your master still have a score to settle. And you better believe it will be. Of course. Just got word from the Duke's Special Response Team has already made all the preparations necessary for you to evacuate Londinium and board Newport Borough. Let us be off. Mr. Trilby Asher, since the moment I saw you and realized just how solid a grasp... solid grasp the Duke on Zion's has on Zion's communications, I've been thinking, you've always been able to do this, haven't you? What do you mean? You've always known what everyone's been up to, whether it's us, the Sarkaz, the Self-Salvation Corps. That's nowhere near as simple or comprehensive as you'd imagine. We've always found it very tricky to stay thoroughly informed on the Sarkaz, especially certain men of the Royal Court. Many of the colleagues have lost their lives because of this, but you've always had a good understanding of the tides. Why did you, and especially the Duke behind you, let things turn out like this? The Cosdale region is a formidable opponent, and my guess is even old Wellington would admit this. The Cosdale military's commissioned technology and equipment leaves a very deep impression. When coming from the executor of Victorian Duke's will, this sounds like sarcasm. Based on our analysis, Therasis may be formidable, but strength alone is not enough for Victoria to fall such lows, where it finds itself at the mercy of others. And now I get it. You chose to do nothing. You simply watched as the flames of war engulfed your country. Amia, the little leader of Rhodes Island, how old are you? 15, 16? You're still a child, even. You despise blood and war, but let me clarify this. We're not very fond of these things either. But to us, the objective of war is never the war itself. War is an expansion of politics. The Sarkaz need a war to unite themselves, and Victoria doesn't necessarily lack the need for one. However, around whom we unite is worthy of discussion. And just for that, and this is very important, it's far more important than you can imagine. War is cruel, suffering and death follow in its wake. It exposes our barest, truest forms of one another, tears off all disguises. At certain stages of history's ever-forward march, we need this kind of honesty, and all of us do. Now make your preparations, Rhodes Island. It's time for us to depart. Molly, they got you too. Ladoshi's just a teacher. The children's school need to be cared for. You've already destroyed what came to destroy. Must you drag in more innocence, miss? You're here, Your Excellency. The Banshee came looking for trouble with one of us again. I'll send a unit to provide support. No need, taking a walk with him isn't so bad. You should go with the old Red Eye. He just opened a new bottle of wine, waiting for you, and we've already grown tired of stories of yesterday. You're a much better listener than us. Understood. Plotted me, then. You... Golding's throat has never felt this dry. The person in front of her looks and acts exactly the same as the Molly she remembers, down to the tiniest movements. She's always frowning a little, watching every move of the mischievous children. At supper time, she would hand out bread to everyone and chastise anyone who hasn't washed hands. Her expression's the same as ever, but for some reason, the drop of sweat dripping down Golding's back seeps to her clothes. Lance scratched his thumb again yesterday, but don't worry, I've put on some ointment. He's always such a He's always such a handful. What are you? The teacher has made it back to school already. She'll take good care of the children, I'm sure. How about a chat? Oh, relax. It's just a chat. If you don't feel comfortable, we can continue to use the identity of the owner of this appearance around you. Why don't we talk about the weather first? The children's studies. There's the play too, Lady Golding. Merely thinking about it brings tears to my eyes. The children have all grown so big in just the blink of an eye. Enough. Stop talking to me like you're Molly. Stop using that face, you monster. What do you want? Would you like a cup of tea? Latour has a pretty fine taste, and the tea here is exquisite. We finally have a satisfying outcome for all the missions Theris has handled us. Now we can take a short break. How long have you been around me? Not as long as you might think. Can we skip the boring talk, though? It's break time right now. We want to do something that we are truly interested in. For example, we want to know what you think of this era, your conclusions all around this. I don't understand. You used me to destroy the Self-Salvation Corps. I should have no more value to you anymore. Damn it, I had all this to myself. Oh, don't blame yourself. This is no big deal at all. We had all kinds of ways to locate the Self-Salvation Stronghold. You're not the only lead we have. This might sound a little hurtful, but you're not even the most important one. We do indeed have a bit of interest in you. We enjoyed your work and chatting with you. So let's have a chat together. There's nothing more than this. It's just a conversation. We've had conversations like this many times. Countless of identities, with countless others. We were still confused. We still don't want to give up any chances that would lead to an answer. Lady Golding, how do you think we should live?
I may be exceptionally tired in both body and mind, but I do not want the music to end here.
Right now, I'd say Zerny's best asset is that he's a pure res tank, but it's magic tank, but apparently in the home server, they've actually got an even stronger one. Although I suppose he still has the fact, he's an arts defender and the other one's a guardian defender, a healing defender. So there's certainly some value. That does mean that Zerny will have a much better offense, as well as his, as I mentioned, he doubles his max HP, so he's one of the few defenders that's good for tanking true damage, since that bypasses all defenses and damage reductions. Alright, so I can't afford holding two fronts here. That is, honestly kind of frustrating. Alright, let's go. I can adjust the team more if this proves to be a bit over my head. So, this is all the London Senior Self-Salvation Corps' men who've evacuated the city. We've suffered greater losses than I'd imagined. Some decided to stay, even though the Sark has sort of stronghold. That doesn't mean they have a list of our collaborators. We don't know exactly how bad the leak was, and a lot of our men think things aren't really that bad yet. They still pretend they can go back to their quiet, peaceful lives. Can't they see we have nowhere to run? Don't say that, Rock. Most of them aren't fighters. They're just willing to place their hopes in on us. Most of the people who stand with us aren't. Soldiers who don't know who should be loyal to. Journalists who lost their jobs. Workers sick of the sarcasm exploitation. Normal folk who've had enough. The Londinium Citizens Self-Salvation Corps were formed by men like them. To leave Londinium, the place we called home since we were born, is a lot more than delivering intel, forging new weapons, and fighting sarcasm mercenaries. The Corps find themselves betrayed by the factory workers while evacuating. Catherine... Oh, Clavicia has disappeared. It's where you find where you belong in a real war with no one in sight that may end up dragging any number of people into actual turmoil. It truly is horrible. This is our Londinium. We should rely on no one but ourselves to defend it. That's what we used to think at first. We thought we'd been given our all to fight that horror, but when it finally arrived, it turned out to be far more than we could actually bear. To tell the truth, I don't know what fate has in store for us from here on onwards. We have some new friends now, but the enemies truly bared their fangs. We may soon find ourselves annihilated, becoming wandering ghosts that drift the wilderness, in the end, disperse all over. Clavicia, stop being so gloomy. I came here only because I didn't want to be handed to liberation by anyone. That's why we are all here. I'm a worker. I'm not one to talk about righteousness. All I know is the work pieces I knock out are most trustworthy. I want to save my city from those people hiding in palaces and castles. I can't do it alone, but I found you. If we don't know what it takes together, we'll unite more people. If we still fail in the end, then fine, I accept that outcome. Hey, Rock, we're still far from talking about outcomes. Now hurry up and walk faster. A stinking passageway like this isn't good for your wounded men's health. Right, the air in the countryside should be better than inside Londinium. Based on Rhode Island analysis, we should enter a branch of the Sarkaz supply line up ahead. We're back. Granny, what's the situation like? It's safe. We didn't run into sentries, but there are no signs of patrols. It looks to be a maintenance access. And some instruments there, though I have the faintest idea what they're for. But strange, we couldn't find any where the real supply line was. Nonetheless, we should be more than enough for evacuation right now. Come on, boy. Help your friends get off their asses. A moment of safety doesn't mean peace forever. Okay, got it. I'll take a look at the equipment we took. Might be something we can put to use. The crawlers got written off might still be usable if luck's on our side. Granny, it's not that I don't believe what we're doing. I'm not losing heart over the setback. We can come back, right? What kind of answer do you want me to give you? I've been cheering everyone up, but I've never really left this place myself. On top of that, we're leaving like this. Feist used to think every so often that we're actually pretty lucky. We were born in the city, we have trustworthy friends, jobs worth doing. And on the weekends, we even head the pubs and alleys for a pint. And play some cards, maybe even win some change. Of course, Victoria's never been truly at peace. Things we are sent to the border region to fight the Sargonians or Lithonians and the blast holes in their bodies. Not that anything to do with us. All I had to do was stay in the factory, turn screws in the iron blocks. We suffered pain too, we had scars that would never heal, but we never had to worry about who to kill or who would be killed by tomorrow. At the very least we could live, or at least pretend to. When the sarcasm came, our lives got hard, a little harder. The factories were handed over, got harder again, but the way I see it, I still consider us more or less lucky enough. Just what's your definition of lucky enough? Hey, being able to stand here and talk about the past. But now our luck's come to an end. No one can keep winning the lottery forever. And so what? Most people aren't so lucky after all, and they still manage to find themselves a way out. Now get back to work, big deal in the core. The chopper ain't gonna pack itself up. Do what you should do, just as you promised me back then. Hello, Makoto. Sorry. That was for a different stream here. So you don't have to worry about it. Sometimes the streams I have make it relevant, so I just need to make sure it's present. And when that happens. Plus a number like it, include myself, so it's whatever. So for anyways, we're in the middle. Anyways, thanks for stopping by. We're currently in the middle of the chapter 12, Arknights chapter 12 story. So there's gonna be a lot of VN stuff, and my throat is honestly parched. Let me grab a sip of my drink here. Alrighty, that's much better. I probably should be using water instead of something sugary, but oh well. Alright. What'd you say back then? I'll walk in every night. Enough, Granny. I was still regretting your lies now. No, I will do it. I still will do it. Times like these look just like Harvey. Catherine looks at Feist with a sidelong glance for despairing in the crowd. On Feist, men dressed in all kinds of attire come and go. All of them are exhausted, but not a single one's given up. Feist knows that all those who stand here are his most trustworthy allies. This little comfort is better than nothing. As the idea crosses his mind, he breathes out a little and exercises his stiff arm after having been on the edge for so long. Once the mist fog that we call opportunities, luck, and other nouns disperse, what form of life will take this time? I could probably use stretching my arm too. Well, Feist decided to stop speculating and instead experience it himself. Feist, the wound are all in position. Now we just have to go to the maintenance access and leave Londinium. We're safe for the time being. We're to rebuild Squad 11 the Self-Salvation Corps when the time comes, right? Of course, I promise you. Now let's go. Suddenly, Feist feels a faint tremor. What's going on? In the distance, an exit and entrance to the underground gradually begin to close at the same time. Why is the passage concealed off? The Sarkaz find us. Oh, damn it, Catherine is here both over the entrance. No, I've been listening to the Sarkaz communication channels around us. We shouldn't be exposed. It can't be a wiring problem, can it? No, these passageways have manual controlled gates. I checked before entering, and I don't see any problems with the drive system. Feist has good eyes, and he's always been proud of this fact. This is pretty rare in factories, where lighting is always needed for workers to actually do anything. Yet at this very moment, he'd rather have not seen what he saw so clearly. At the other end of the entrance, beyond the gap that's about to shut, he spots a few familiar silhouettes. They flash by until the gate closes completely, and the last ray of light disappears behind the iron frame, until darkness engulfs them all. He tries his best to regain his footing. He feels a taste of blood spread throughout his mouth. He tries to swallow the blood stench and finds himself unable to. He can't. Hey, this isn't part of the plan. Who's over there on that side of the passage? What are they trying to do? What's the matter, Feister? Your lip's bleeding. I know who it was on the other side. They're my friends, the factory workers of munitions factory number 11. They said they're going to check if there was any equipment left we could take. They're the only ones who could have possibly closed the gate. Tommy, Catherine, this was my idea. We all decided this together. Just like when you saved me. That's a whole separate thing, Catherine. Time to get back to work, find Defense Force soldier, and tell what happened here. Alright, I know where they are. I have to say, your kidnapping skills are far worse than the Sarkaz. I'm not trying to look for trouble with you, Catherine. How many years have we known each other? There's no surprises here. We don't want to die in the countryside, killed by those monsters' arts either. I'm just a foundry worker. I can use the furnace, the choppers. I can cast some passable parts. But now they want us to leave the city and fight a war with dukes and the Sarkaz? You gotta be kidding. Of all the things I ever could have had in my hands, the only thing remotely looks like a weapon's my spanner. Catherine, I promise it'll all be fine. I have an uncle who works in the defense forces. We can talk to him. We can plead on the factory workers' behalf. And all the things we've done. We've attacked the Sarkaz. We can stay with Self-Salvation Corps. We have no choice. Ha, you think they'll believe you? We may face harsher treatment after this, but as long as the Dukes win the war, we can go back to our lives. You floored Londinium with our own hands. And they're going to throw you out the moment they no longer have a use for you. Everything will get better. You didn't used to lick the nobles' boots like this. What choice do I have, Catherine? Tell me, what choice do I have? I just don't want to leave my home. I don't want to walk on the streets. I just want to walk on the streets of Londinium. Maybe play ball with friends every now and again. Unfortunately, it's not the same Londinium as before, and you can't just go back to normal. It's literally a war zone. You don't just... Yeah, I get it. He's overly emotional. He's desperate to have something work. He just... Have some level of stability. I don't want to die in a shell crater on this countryside with my arms and legs all blown off. I've seen it. Sarcasm only get more and more brutal. My daughter might not even be able to pull my dead body back together. Go, Catherine. I don't want to be rough with you. As for you, little leader of the resistance, where'd she go? There's only a rope that's been cut in the spot where Clivius used to be. She was there a minute ago. Would she... You didn't tell me you couldn't keep an eyes on a little girl? Hey, it has to be some kind of arts. Whatever, let her go. I heard she's the daughter of a tailor. I just hope she'll find a hiding place in Londinium's Dark Night. It stinks. How many people do you think died here the last couple of days? Don't take the alley to the north. A few infected went kaboom there yesterday. There's originium dust everywhere. The Sarkaz bastards, their plan was always to trap us in here and have us fend for ourselves. He went to the transport union during the day. What did the marshal say? The place got burnt down. There's nothing but steel beams left. I don't know if the marshal was in the pile of dead bodies. He didn't try to look. Can't all be idiots and wimps, right? This is taking a punch directly, and we're still dazed. Once we come around, Norport will absolutely bounce back. Perhaps the Dukes will make it here soon when the time comes. Well, we're just stop worshipping the Dukes. Are you hiding the Duke of Wellington's bloody autograph in your drawer now or something? We have to count on ourselves. We can lead this place. I'll lead the charge, I swear. Last time you swore anything, you told me never fall asleep while you stood night watch. Hey, I was just... Enough. Before we start dreaming, we have to find ourselves something to eat. We have Delphine. Yeah, at the end of the day, everyone's tired, desperate, and they've already lost just about everything. So basically, this is their last-ditch attempt. And they're fully aware it could fail, but they're also pretty much convinced they're going to die for absolute certain, while with their plan here to betray the others, they're hoping there might at least be a chance of coming out alive. That said, these are all the same workers that stood against the Sarkaz last before, so I guess it kind of shows that it's... Yeah. Others would likely be in the pile of dead bodies too. We have Delphina and Tensi to Horde to thank for keeping the gym storms well stocked, otherwise we might be in the pile of dead bodies too. Good order, they're fighting up ahead again. Not here too. Let's take another route. The restaurant's the loading area, might still have some supplies. We could try to buy something or trade. What will you do if they don't want to sell? You brought a weapon. This is for defense, we won't use it. Things have yet to get that bad. Brittle steel, oh my.
A smith's gotta be ready to pay the debts accrued by the weapons she forges.
I can place
Don't make any more
crews
noise.
here, but that's only going to do so much. As you'll notice, it's just out of range. Gonna have to do this and hope for the best. Alright, yeah, they're approved. I have to properly identify them for the maximum gain. Armed spy. A spy hired by a mysterious employer to sabotage their rivals while disguised as civilians. Oh boy, at least one of these is one of them. I need to hold this area at all costs.
Careless just because I'm here.
We'll
Siege,
take them
you know what to
out
do.
all at once.
Yep, that's the enemy.
A warrior must be ready to face death on the battlefield.
Sheesh, this deployment cost is a pain in the ass.
Don't worry.
Holy
I've been
crap.
standing by here.
Oh, that's bad.
I'm stand still.
We need
Arrive
more
at
healers.
designated position. Treatment. Get a hold of your breathing. Relax.
Ah, but because of how big the plus shape is, this can hit the other one. Oh, these guys are really tanky. I don't like that. I don't like this one bit. Cerny down here.
Everyone.
Because, yeah, his AoE can hit up there if need be.
Don't worry. I've been bastards. Ram, I'm busy here.
Alright, yeah. We need Stainless to help out here.
Go ahead.
Cruz, do your thing. Alright, yeah, she's cleaving through these guys. That might be a little tougher, but...
Everyone, hang in there.
I'll bring you through from darkness.
Yeah, he gets
No matter which
because
way
he's
you
on
go,
skill 2,
piece it
Stainless
together,
gets a Centurion effect, so he can hit everything he's blocking. So that should help here at least a little.
Shall I close?
Shut up, or else.
Oh dear. Gonna need more magic.
My drones.
Get a hold of your breathing and relax.
There we go. I forgot to deploy, but I probably should have just done it for Cruise Altar. Or maybe I
The
should have
fiercer
brought
the battle, the more jubilant
Rock out
the
sooner.
victory.
Ooh, I got a blue goo. Those are really annoying to farm normally. What's this? Collect all? Why not? Nice. Nice. Which one has Morgan? Here we are. 1217. Wow, that's kind of late in here, isn't it? Yeah, if there's assuming there's 20 parts total, why is she so late? I mean, yeah, she has a very powerful chapter-specific passive. Basically, she doesn't take up a deployment slot. She's completely free to deploy in this chapter, which is good given how resource-intensive it is. However, that's really weird. I don't mind the freebies of each chapter having chapter-specific abilities. I just wish they came at a reasonably early enough time so that, you know, I could actually enjoy them. When she joins that late, she's really only going to be helpful for the boss and I guess the H stages. I forget what they're called. Infernal, Hell, whatever. I can use those later. Yeah, I think this team will be fine for this. Let's go. Who's war?
Compassion saves no one on the battlefield.
Oh, we have red enemies already. Oh my.
What a pain.
Get a healer out here.
One of you is getting away.
If I can hold this the Blit choke point here, I think I should be in good shape.
On alert.
Let's block one here, because apparently I need that. Absurd Tyrant Captain can only be blocked by at least 3. Oh, balls. That means a Defender or Centurion has to hold him.
A warrior must be ready to face death on the battlefield.
This one,
Let's just
alright.
get this done with.
Nian can handle that. Oh. Oh, that's bad.
A warrior must be ready to face death on the battlefield.
I'm here, Doctor. I can see the enemy's tracks.
Need more healers.
Focus on fighting.
This guy's dealing a lot of damage.
My rule is to balance your lives hanging.
Get a hold of your breathing and relax.
My rule is to balance your lives hanging.
I've got a way to treat you here. I'm here, Doctor. I'm not watching my friends die again.
Get lost.
Okay, so we need Cerny up here.
Extraordinary melodies
Alright.
can only be played.
No matter what
Oh,
trouble
balls. No,
we're
that's
in,
not gonna work, is it?
with all of you.
A warrior must be ready to face death on the battlefield.
Get a hold of your breathing and relax.
Get lost.
Listen or leave.
Nope. Let's go through here. Let's keep going here. Alright, I'm gonna try again. Those big guys are a big pain, that's for sure.
I've finished tuning.
But I guess I also
I may
need to
perform
replace with thorns sooner. At least the good news is they take the scenic route around, so I can pay attention for that.
We'll take them out. all
Alright,
at
Siege should be
once.
able to hold the fort on the bottom thing just fine. I guess Adverse for this stage doesn't screw around, given it's already throwing the red stuff at me, which is usually reserved for the later modes. I wonder... Well, no, I need to have this out here first. Speed it up a bit.
A warrior must be ready to face death on the battlefield.
Let's just get this done with.
Oh, that guy just goes straight to the blue box. I thought he'd take the scenic route like the other one.
Don't get discouraged. We still have a chance.
I mean, it's also a thing that happens, Pixel. I mean, in FGO's chapter...
We're heading out.
Avalon the Fade chapter absolutely had a ton of it, and it was meant to be more of a horror thing there.
What a pain.
I just happen to be a weirdo.
Not one of you is getting away.
Come on. I probably should wait until that guy was in range, actually. Whoops.
On alert.
Alright, okay. Yeah, there's no point in even using that at this point. Yeah, the big limiting factor in this for this chapter is not the
life and death.
gaining the
Why
DP,
should
it's actually
Scarlet
having
choose
enough.
its worthy wielder?
So, honestly, I really should be using Yato Alter. She would make this significantly easier.
Everyone,
I definitely need to
focus
double
on
up on
fighting.
healers here.
Just leave treatment to me.
My rule is to balance your lives hanging.
Would tremble in my music.
Kill, kill, kill.
Here I am.
A warrior must be ready to face death on the battlefield.
Ready to deploy my drones. Everyone, hang in there.
A warrior must be ready to face death on the battlefield.
Alright, we need thorns here, and we need them now.
Get a hold of
It'll
your
take a bit for him to
breathing.
get going, but I think we should be in good shape here.
My rule is to balance your lives hanging.
Silence, so fort!
I'm here, Doctor. It's up to us to protect our homes.
Ah. I see they have a plus shape attack because Cruza Alter got killed by that,
I'm
but
here,
Rock
Doctor.
Rock was
I can
unaffected.
see the enemy's
He
track.
clearly
Everyone,
targeted
hang in there.
balls. Bagpipe, fix that, would you?
I'm
Please.
here, Doctor. I can see the enemy's tracks.
My weapon chooses its worthy wielder.
That Zerny just saved my ass. He just covered up that entire.
Bastards!
mm,
Ram, I'm busy here. I've got a way to treat you.
Yeah, that
here.
one's a good one. One's good. Bagpipe's good there. I can potentially get Silver Ash here as well. His damage, his additional damage should be huge for this if I need a bit more.
Made up your mind?
Yeah, he can hit all of them. Or at least most of them.
Get lost.
Come on.
Shall I open? Listen or leave!
Fool, for what reason hast thou come?
True Silver Slash is gonna have to clean this
I've
up
got a
here,
way
but
to treat you here.
there we go. There's 2 more enemies, which means they have to be well, that's one civilian. Where's the other one? Yeah, that's one enemy. Where's the other? I haven't lost any life points.
Get a hold of your breathing and relax.
I probably should have gotten him out sooner. Huh. That guy counted as 2? Or maybe there were 2 on the top of each other, and I just didn't notice it. Also possible. I really don't have anything here. Bollocks, saw with our eyes. Use your stove. Where'd you get food? How come we have something to eat today? I found it by chance. Found it! Don't go overboard. If this guy gets an Ori up at the attack, we're all dead. Where's your storeroom? Spill it! I really just found them. Someone's been leaving them on the windsill. Still trying to hide. Are his words true and trustworthy? Even the infected get lucky sometimes to find food. What's so strange about that? Horn and Misery cover the evacuation and the last steam night. Crucial moment. W arrives. Nice. Alright, 12 Glasgow gang is beginning to run low. And who are you? Hello, my name is Red. Back in the Ursa stage, they used to call me Red Blade. Oh, this guy was from the Golden Glow storyline. Interesting. If we could get him as playable, that'd be really nice. He endeared himself quite well in that story, I thought. Pick up the pace, stay close. Hang in there, we're almost there. Drat, there's more and more of them. White Wolf, I heard about you and your family. I'm glad to have the opportunity to fight alongside you today. For Londonium and Victoria. What are you trying to... Don't stop, keep moving. Sarkaz traitor and Victorian insects. It's high time we brought an end to this game of hide and seek. Where do you wish to run? Is it your death you wish to escape? You and your friends who are hiding in the shadows will be torn to shreds. It is what you owe us. This is what everyone in Londinium, Victoria, and across the lands owe us. Run, run, the storm will still arrive. You cannot outrun the war. Shut your bloody gob. Too many people. We need to find a way to break through here. I only have 1 grenade left. Robin, take this grenade, head down, blow up the bomb deck of the lower layer. Misery, protect him. The rest of you need to go forward. You... Got it, don't worry. We'll leave the rest to luck. Horn, shut up, I don't have time to pummel you again. Hurry! Horn turns around and faces a wave of enemies reaching her position. She smirks a little. It's high time this came to an end. The fleeing, these battles, these sleepless nights. Soldiers were meant to die in war. I wonder what Bagpipe's up to right now. She tightens her grip and prepares to charge. Under the dark, cloudy sky, a strange sound can be heard zooming in ever closer from afar. A familiar sound, although it's been a long time since it was last heard in Londinium. It is only their distant memories and fuzzy rumors that people can find the source. Hello, Ellie. I don't think anyone needs help with causing things to blow up here, that's for sure. That's... Horn, run, take this chance. You're... Heavy gushing. Victoria. Interesting. Is that the same one? Or is it Allerdale? Or is it... Canonically, we never fight the Steam Knight. That's why the chapter where you fight them is off the main story route. So it's rather interesting. Drat these doors! They're too thick, they can't hear us on the other side. They took Clovicia and Catherine. Are they trying to use them as bargaining chips with the Sarkaz? Those despicable traitors. Shining, can you open them? We can't delay any longer. We don't know when the Sarkaz will make it here. I'll give it a try. No, don't make a big show like that. That's when control the enemy are faster. We have a bunch of critically wounded non-combatants. If we actually start fighting the Royal Court guys, even we get away. What about them? We'd only be waiting to make our makeup by remaining here. I don't know what my friends are scheming, but my guess is they have more on their mind than keeping us here. My drone is a small laser cutting device. There's steel plate here, maybe thick, but if you give me some time, how long will it take? Oh, keep your pants on. I need to input the speed test first. Vice, do you remember what happened to old Bill? It has to be. One of those monsters has infiltrated us again. He fooled us again. We were too careless. We should have known sooner. Vice, the Sarkaz who changed their faces here too? When those things exist, how can we trust anyone? Yeah, the whole theme of this chapter seems to be asking, who can you trust? After all, there's enemies hidden. There are enemy spies here. They could be you. They could be me. What if that's not what this is? But there are allies. They're Londonian workers too. I know, I grew up with them. But what if this is their decision? This is the choice that Tommy, Pato, and Day, they just made with everyone else. Why? We're supposed to be on the same side. It's easy to believe that your allies were replaced than to accept they betrayed us. But that's exactly what happened. I can tell what they're thinking, more or less. Once the rage-induced fervor dissipates, it's not so easy to choose to keep fighting. Clovis has said as much before, too. In the end, we're just a bunch of normal people. I have to admit that even I fear leaving, just like them. Fleeing, cowering is the most instinctive choice that most normal people make when they're confronted with war. Then you stay. Stay with your friends. I won't do that, Rock. I have to face my fear. That's the only way I can remind myself of the worth of bravery. I have faith that they haven't crossed the line, the faith that they were sucked in this choice by fear. But none of that matters now. I will save Granny and Clovicia, just like I did last time. But the wounded can't much longer. The drone's laser working on the door already. It'll take 20 minutes, maybe? I'll help too. I have tools on me. Your hammer and wrench ain't gonna come in handy here. Be patient and hold on just a bit longer. We can leave this place safe and... Wait, I didn't catch any sarcasm movement. Shining. Oh, hey, Shining. Been a while. I heard you went to a family reunion. W, you're here. W, half of Londinium just heard that right now. The curtain's drawn, right? I've always been pretty accurate with my explosives, just the right amount. I've heard Calcium got beat up real bad, so I thought I'd find some time to come over and take a look. I'd really love this W costume to be on our playable version, by the way. It's a really nice outfit, I think. Oh, she really did take a beating. There's just doesn't know how to hold back, huh? And here I thought the guy would go gentler on his old friend. She's still unconscious. Well, shit, that's too bad. I mean, for me, that is. Should I shed a few tears for her? Or maybe I'd take this chance to be Hag never crosses me again? Muffled braying. Ah, that little shit's not dead either. Menacing growl. Still so nasty. Monster was very heavily damaged. It wasn't until 2 hours ago that it recovered motor functions. I suggest you avoid provoking it. I'm saving its master's life. At the very least, it's gotta learn to treat me with a bit more respect. Otherwise... Compromising roar. Now that's more like it. The Royal Court fighters are headed this way. Quick, we gotta get out of here before they... Oh, quit your yapping, Closure. Hurts my ears. Whose fault do you think that is? If you're so worried, get your men to move double time already. I know a couple good spots outside the city. Want to take a look? I'm glad W came through for us, that's for sure. With the supplies we have on hand, best case scenario, we should be able to last another week. What about worst case scenario? Alright, I get it. Kador and I will keep trying to come up with something. What's the situation like outside? A borough that normally has less than 10,000 residents suddenly finds population surging multiple times over. No supplies, no police, no law and order. We're still alive even after the last couple days. Should all be thankful as citizens have a shred of morality. Could also be because of Kador's fists pack a punch. I don't deny that. Have you heard anything about the Duke's plans? I heard Duke Windmore's barracks aren't far from here. I'm sure they weren't turned a blind eye to our predicament. I've heard rumors. Some say they saw a blaze surge through the night sky. We all saw that flying thing the Sargas had. On the day we were cast out of Londinium, its shadow swept through the plate. My guess is the Dukes are very fearful of that, and they're only probing on how to attack right now. Of course, it's also possible the outside world's gone to hell, and Londinium has been bombed to smithereens. Who knows? Maybe the Dukes that don't know and there's still people alive here? Maybe they thought all of us died? If only we had a way to get word out. What way? The inner city net's completely paralyzed. Hapless souls trapped in the blockdown zone like us should only worry about whether or not we have anything to eat tomorrow. It's hard to believe just a few days ago we were still watching that awful Wankwood movie in the video shop. What was the movie called again? War of the Mutant Geeks? The ending was actually pretty touching, though. I wouldn't know, I fell asleep. All I saw was the nomadic city getting blown up in an explosion right at the very end. All I remember is that Mr. Claren was awfully generous with his money. After all, we helped him deal with the video shop's troubles plenty of times. I only hope he's doing well. The situation outside wouldn't do his neurasthenia any favors. I stopped at the video shop. His door is sealed. Why did you always sleep in the video shop, though? I remember we met each other because your laughter woke me up. Sorry, but the movie was really funny. But Star, it was your fault for falling asleep in there. There's no better place to sleep than there. That comedy director is really famous. I have all of her. An old timely growl signifies our hunger can be heard, shattering the easygoing atmosphere the two finally managed to build. Sorry. You've been eating too little. Your stamina won't last if you keep this up. It's okay, we need to carry on. The lives we had came to an end just like that. In this instant, this is all we've turned into. There are lunatics and dead bodies everywhere. There are blockade walls the Sark has built. There have been many men attempting to break through them past couple days. Their brains are still hanging on the walls. I still don't understand. How did it... War's broken out, Bard. I know. Bard. But just because of how few weightless words, everyone's past has disappeared without a trace in the blink of an eye. Whose war is this? The Dukes are trying to protect Victoria. All I know is this war is not mine. A small broke stir, as well as the clanging of multiple cans, be heard from the shadows. What are you doing? Isn't it our turn to stand watch? What's hiding underneath your coat? Stay back. He's really gotten desperate, too.
You're pretty amazing coming up with a strategy like that. I gotta say, you're a lot better than W just lobbing bombs at everything.
Whew. I'm a lot more tired than I thought I was. Oh, and this is going to be a hard mission. In that case, yeah, I think I might want to save this for next time and call the stream here. In fact, I might have been pushing myself a bit much after a lot of streaming after travel, but hey, I wanted to really get started on the story here. I actually do like the story of this game, flaws and all. But we'll have to save that for next time. It might be a bit before I get to it, though, because I still need to do the multiplayer stream, and since that's on Halloween Day specifically, I do want to do a Halloween special as well, so that's going to be in November. Hey, it's not spooky season's not over till I say it is. But that's going to be all for now. Looks like Dice Wolf is doing some party animals. I guess that can be a nice wind down, so I'll go ahead and raid them. Alright, well until next time, thank you for watching, hope you had a good time, and I'll see you later.